Welcome in. I'm Meatballs. That's Soup. Tim, how we doing, man?
Nice. Nice little Sunday, Max. How's it going over there?
I've been awake for, it's 9 o'clock. I've been awake for 2.5 hours, so I can't complain. But I'm going to start the day complaining. Are you ready for this?
Please. Yes.
So what does this look like to you?
Bagel?
No. Okay, that's fair.
Do I have to put my glasses on? Is it a donut?
It is a glazed donut from the Double D, and while I'm sure it's fine and delightful, when I go to get donuts for the kids on Saturday morning, we get the same order, pretty much. Remember last week they had the fruit punch donut? It was great.
It sounded terrible.
I liked it, but the kids were like, so I'm like, all right, I won't get it anymore because the donuts are for the kids, really, not for me. So we get like the chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry frosted with the sprinkles on them. Kids love those. But Maria started to really like the double chocolate, the chocolate glazed with the chocolate drizzle on it.
Smart girl.
Okay, fine. So that's what I ordered. This is what they gave me. Just saying.
Unacceptable.
Just saying. I mean, they're not on the list yet, but if they do it again,
they're on watch.
Yeah, they're definitely on watch. And like I said, it's fine. It doesn't taste bad. But Maria was like, I don't want that. Not one for trying new things.
I'll write the Double D down in pencil for this week, but next week it's ink if it happens again.
If it happens again. No. So that was the bad thing this weekend, but the really good thing this weekend, you saw some pictures online, and I will share with the Soup and Meatball world. It was prom day here in Chambersburg, and that's a terrible picture of me because I don't know what my face is doing. Like,
no one's looking at you. They're looking at this dapper gentleman.
Yeah, man. I mean, so he it's a suit. It's not a tux. And the bow tie makes it look cool. So full disclosure, I screwed up here. The pocket that you see they're supposed to be cut or something. Like we're supposed to rip that thing out. I thought it looked the way it was supposed to look, but no. Apparently, you're supposed to cut a suit when you get it, like with scissors. So now I know. I guess. I mean, back in the day, this is a true story. When I first started working in television at the Laurel Mall, remember that?
Sure.
It was a men's store that was going out of business. And I bought, with my own money, I think $2,500 worth of stuff, and I spent $200.
Wow. I did something similar when Al's Men's Shop in Bloomsburg was going out of business. And they were just like giving their stuff away. And it was like this great custom-made stuff. Like I bought a suit, all kinds of stuff, ties. That's what you have to do. You have to wait for the inevitable collapse of a business and then rate it for scraps.
Yeah, but that's my only experience buying, and none of them needed to be cut. So I didn't know when you bought something from Amazon that it comes with arts and crafts along with it. But
yeah, I've never had to cut my own suit.
And here's the other thing. I mean, let's start with. I don't know if I have this in quick hitters or not. So let's just. If I do, we'll just skip it. Because it was the prom, our prom experience when we went back in 97, way different from here because our prom was at Genetti's, which had a kitchen. And so you would show up and you would eat. First of all, memory guy, do you remember what we ate?
At prom?
Yeah.
I remember there were good mozzarella sticks. Was that a Dan Rigotti? Did Dan Rigotti get us mozzarella sticks in his capacity as class president?
As class president, I don't know. All I remember is a couple of us, I guess, might not have been too fond of the food because a lot of us went in on a pizza, and we had pizza delivered to the prom, and Mr. Notaro got all kinds of fired up about it. But
I remember. There was a semi where a bunch of people got food poisoning from like ill-cooked seafood. Like there was shrimp and like some egg rolls, and everyone got sick.
Also at Genetti's, by the way.
Shout out to Genetti's.
So the reason I bring this up is because now, at least here in town, the prom was held at the school, and they did a from what Derek and his date said, they did a really good job of trying to decorate and make it not look like a gym. But they don't serve food there. They don't have a meal there. They had like snacks there.
Yeah.
But the big thing was Derek and his date went out to dinner before the prom, and that's what every kid does. So, like, if you were driving around town, except when we drove past Cluggy's, the miniature golf place, there were 4 girls prommed up miniature golfing. I thought that was amazing.
That's
If I
awesome.
was if I wasn't on a road that like didn't have a shoulder, I would have pulled over and taken their picture because I thought that was great. But no, the dinner they had was at a like a hibachi restaurant, which was great. And then we took them to Mario's for dessert before the show, or before the dance. We didn't sit and eat with them. Jen and I took Maria to the park, and we said, "Okay, you guys do that." But prom night, big night in the world of a high schooler, I suppose. I went to 2 proms, and I remembered. I'll share this with my students tomorrow. Do you remember the name Merton Hanks?
Yeah, the safety with the long neck for the
Yeah, and
49ers.
he did the Merton Hanks dance.
Yeah.
I did a lot of that at our prom, and I think I gave myself minor whiplash. So hopefully none of my students hurt themselves to the point where they're super sore. But there we go.
If there was any kid who was witnessed doing the Merton Hanks at the Chambersburg prom, we should have that kid on.
If any kid in the graduating class knows who Merton Hanks is, that could be their ticket on the show.
Former
I'm pretty
Pro
sure.
Bowler. What are we even teaching kids in school these days?
Do you want to know? Honestly, last year I had a student named Dominic Curtis. Really great kid. I met his dad at a football game because he was a football player. So I met his dad at a football game. His dad's a great guy. So I have pictures on my cabinet, and some of them are old football pictures. Like I have a picture of me in my big giant linebacker pads, and it's 21, and the face mask. You can see it's my face, but it's like a shadowy face.
Yeah.
He thought that was Deion Sanders because the resemblance is there. We were both
Uncanny.
wearing a red jersey with the number 21 on it. That's where it ended.
I can't tell you how many times we've been in public and people have come up to you and asked for your autograph as Deion Sanders because the resemblance is just uncanny.
It's uncanny. So yeah, but
even more so when you used to have the Jerry curl.
As for what we're teaching the kids, it's certainly not sports and pop culture. That's for sure. What we are teaching them is that numbers are important, and we're almost down to our Final Four in the NBA. The Knicks are already in the Final Four. We'll get to them a little bit later. Out west, we have what matchup you picked, and perhaps the de facto championship series. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder, San Antonio Spurs, and I want you to break this down for us. I have 4 areas I want you to look at here with your. Okay. This is my microscopic lens hand gesture. We're going to break down the back courts, the front courts, defense and turnovers, and coaching. So starting with the back courts, Stephen Castle and De'Aaron Fox in San Antonio averaging 19 and 18 points a game. SGA has been lighting up the box score, and Jalen Williams says he's healthy, but what's amazing is Oklahoma City is 8-0 without him. Yeah. So edge in the backcourt says you.
I think you have to give it to OKC, even though San Antonio has more depth. You mentioned Castle and De'Aaron Fox, and yet Dylan Harper had an amazing series. I think, he's only a rookie now, but and no slight to Castle, but I think Dylan Harper is going to be the second banana going forward in the next 10 years or whatever for the Spurs. He's going to kind of be the Pippen to Wembanyama's Jordan. So I think the Thunder, especially if Williams is healthy, get the edge. but it's not a huge edge, or not as big an edge as you'd think with, an all-star like Williams and a soon-to-be two-time reigning MVP like SGA.
I think that's a fair assessment. That's kind of where my head would go as well. If I think the front court's easy. I mean, San Antonio has an MVP candidate, Defensive Player of the Year, and San Antonio's going to go wherever Wembanyama takes them. But Chet Holmgren, the name Chet is something else. It reminds me of something like Mike Friendy would yell at like a Sala Sereni game. But hey, Chet. He's having a nice little postseason for Oklahoma City, but this has to be edge San Antonio, right?
Yeah, and the other name that doesn't get mentioned for San Antonio, who he's the guy with the ring. He's the only guy with the ring on that roster. Well, Harrison Barnes too. Luke Cornett is very valuable just in the way that he comes in. He can spell Wembanyama, and obviously there's going to be some drop off when you take Wembanyama out of the game. But Luke Cornett is a very solid piece in that rotation. He was really good in Boston. It's great to see him thrive in San Antonio. And look, not to take anything away from Chet Holmgren, he's an all-star caliber player. He's a good defender, but in the matchups this year between the Spurs and Thunder, Wembanyama, it feels like his ate his lunch a little bit.
Oh, we'll get to that part of this here in a little bit. This part is the next one is tricky for him in defense and turnovers, because if you look at advanced stats, San Antonio is the number one defense in the league. Makes sense. They get the Defensive Player of the Year, not a shock. But the Thunder overall ranks sixth, and where I think San Antonio probably has the edges in the turnover battle, the Thunder are leading the league in turnovers in the postseason. But they're playing a form of we'll just outscore you offense that doesn't matter for the defense. So when you look at defense and turnovers, where are you giving your edge?
I'm going to give a slight edge to OKC in terms of just overall team defense with what Alex Caruso gives them on the ball. Like to a man, 8-9 deep, they are fantastic defenders. And that's the Spurs are great too, but I just think there's a little more defensive talent depth for OKC. I think the big question is how physical the officials let this series get, because OKC, they sure like to defend with their hands a lot. They really like to play a physical brand of defense, whereas San Antonio, a lot of what they do is defined on the back end by the help they get from Wembanyama. So, if it's a series where the refs are not letting a lot go, edge San Antonio. If they're allowed to push and shove and hand check, edge OKC.
And they're the same officials for every game in the series, or do they swap out? I legit don't know.
Yeah, it's the same for the series.
Okay. So, like, what you get in game one, you can almost expect series long. That's fair.
Right. And sometimes you'll see, like, course corrections from Cruz, because even in the San Antonio, Minnesota series, there was some complaining after the 12 blocks from Wembanyama in game one, and Minnesota was trying to say that he was goaltending, and it seemed like, there was maybe some course correction from the officials slightly to try to, maybe there was a little goaltending from Wembanyama early on. But you're right. For the most part,
little goaltending though.
Well, when you're 7'5", it's hard not to goaltend. But yeah, what you see in game one is typically what you'll see throughout the series for the most part.
I saw a video, speaking of this, that I just remembered. This guy is maybe at the NBA, at the Basketball Hall of Fame, or at some arena that has this setup where they have like different players like shooting a basketball. Like they got Muggsy Bogues, then they work their way up to Wembanyama, and this guy's like blocking all of them. And when he gets to Wembanyama, like it's ridiculous that his, what do you call it? Like the wingspan that he's shooting his jumper. The ball is like 12 feet in the air, and the guy's looking at it, he can't make it. So as far as, like you said, you can almost not help yourself goaltending. That's fair.
Well, but the typical wingspan is supposed to be roughly the same as your height.
Yeah.
So if Wembanyama's, 80, 87, 88, 89 inches tall,
It's a lot of inches.
And then you're talking about arms that
40.
are, close to 4 feet long.
So the official situation requires maybe some adjustment by the coaching. So coaching wise, you have Mark Dagno in Oklahoma City. They just won a title last year, so experience is there with him. This is Mitch Johnson's first real playoff run. But if you look at the head-to-head, San Antonio's 4-1 against this team. Does that give maybe San Antonio an edge? Like, we know we can do this, or does the fact that this is the playoffs and it's all amped up, does that not matter anymore?
So that's another one that can go one of two ways, where San Antonio doesn't go in like Phoenix or LA. They know they can not just beat this team, but beat them consistently. And at least one of those wins, but maybe two were by 20 or more points by San Antonio. Like, they really had OKC's number, especially early on in the season when the Thunder seemed kind of invincible. Or it can go the other way, where OKC plays with a chip on their shoulder, where it's like, oh, well, everyone's saying, this is as far as we go. This is the team that has our number. And, it hurts the pride a little bit. Either way, I think you have to give the edge to Mark Daniel, just because, like you'd said, they did just have the run last year. They won the title. And, they are 8-0 through the first 2 rounds.
By the way, but, I mean, when you play who they play, you get excited about 8-0. You start out with an overmatched. Oh, who'd they start out with? Help me out. Phoenix. I'm just looking at LA and how depleted they were. I think you got to be excited about 8-0, but I think this is the makings of a long series. I think it's going 6 or 7. That just happened.
I think San Antonio wins this series. I picked San Antonio to win the West.
That was my next question.
San Antonio wins this series.
How long do you think it's going?
I think it goes the full 7.
Okay. I'll just be contrarian. I'll pick Oklahoma City, and I'll pick them in 4.
You're going to contrare me?
Oh, yeah. You've just been contrared.
That could be a segment. You've been contrared.
I certainly don't think it's going to go 4, but I'll give Oklahoma City 6. I'll say it won't go 7. But I think this will be a very, very entertaining series. As far as the de facto championship goes, well, that's really up to who comes out of the East. And right now, we don't know who that's going to be. Pistons hosting the Cavs tonight. And I don't really know who I don't know who I want to see play against the Knicks, but who has your edge tonight? It's in Detroit for Game 7.
You would have to say Detroit has the edge, being at home, being the 1 seed, and they're just the more consistent team. James Harden's been very up and down this series. Real tough first 4 games, like 3.5 games to the series. It took a while for Donovan Mitchell to start getting aggressive and attack the rim a little bit. So, just all the factors you look at, Jalen Duren's kind of woken up for Detroit. Tobias Harris has found new life in these playoffs. If they get anything behind Cade Cunningham, which they've been getting, they certainly got it on Friday. I like Detroit to win this by like 8-10 tonight.
8-10. So right now, if the matchup predictor is giving Detroit a 70.1% chance, I'm nothing you said really. I don't disagree with any of it. I would go with the home number 1 seed as well. All I know is the Knicks haven't played since our last show because we haven't seen them play because they swept the Sixers, and I think it's great news for OG Anunoby, who hurt his hamstring Game 2, and he's been going through practices. He went through portions of practice on Wednesday, didn't do anything live. He was shooting around, and he was part of the practice session yesterday. And honestly, you had said Detroit matches up really well with New York. If OG is not fully healthy as the secondary scoring option, I don't know where the Knicks get that second. Like it's like a blend between
Like Josh
Karl
Hart.
Anthony Towns and so I really think OG's health is important. So that sweep was really really beneficial for him. But we'll see that the Eastern Conference Final starts up on Tuesday. It's tough to analyze it because we don't know who's in it. I like the Knicks' chances against Detroit. They've played a really hot postseason, which means they're going to lose in 5.
Yeah, I think Detroit's the worst of the two potential matchups for the Knicks. But the way that they're playing right now, I think the Knicks would be favored to beat either the Pistons or the Cavs.
Confidence, we started this at the beginning. I would imagine you're going Spurs 1.
Yeah.
I will go Thunder 1, but then I would go Spurs 2. I think whoever wins the West is just going to be better than the Knicks, Pistons, or Cavs.
Yeah, I think there's a clear hierarchy for me where I go Spurs, Thunder, Knicks, and then like Pistons, then Cavs of the 5 remaining.
I think that's fair. So we'll see who the Knicks get tonight, and then the Final 4 starts up. Does the West start on Monday?
Yes.
Okay, so the big game starts on Monday. The JV starting on Tuesday. Then, but with the Lakers eliminated now, instead of focusing all their attention on the Thunder and the Spurs, the media world turned their attention to the biggest star in LA, or at least the biggest name. LeBron, his contract is up, and the question had become, has he had his last dance in the City of Angels? Because I don't know if the Lakers want him back, and weirdly enough, I don't know if he wants to go back to the Lakers now.
Yeah, it really feels like a 50-50. I don't think we've seen the last of him.
Okay, so that was one of the options was maybe that he had played his last game. So you don't think that's the case?
No, I think he showed enough this last year, even as a third or second or 1B option for this team, that he's still, if he wants to go out there, if he still has that like will to compete, he can still compete at a high level. But yeah, I don't know that he's going to be doing it in LA.
Did you hear about what got him upset?
What was it? Like Luka stuff?
No, you got to hear. This is so LeBron. According to Yahoo Sports, LeBron James is reportedly frustrated with the Los Angeles Lakers because he feels underappreciated. Tensions peaked in March of 2026 because GM Rob Pelinka gave a game ball to JJ Redick for his 100th career victory instead of giving it to LeBron James, who picked up his 1,229th career victory, making him the all-time winningest or whatever. It was all Luka Doncic also went over 15,000 career points in that game, but I didn't get a game ball, so I feel underappreciated.
You would hope that someone in their 40s who's done it as long as LeBron has would be past that kind of stuff.
My gosh, man, like that's so needy. But like to a point, but it's not like when you get to that part of your career and maybe you have one contract left, you consider how much money do you ask for? How greedy do you want to be, because you're not worth $180 million for 1 year, but the fact that they didn't give you like a little mini trophy.
Yeah.
That reminds me of me when I was 5 years old and I was taking tap dance lessons with my sister. She had been taking lessons for longer, so she got a 3-year dance trophy or 4-year dance trophy. I was only taking dance for like 1 year. I didn't get a trophy, and I was sad. So my father, Big Jake, gave me like a little one of his Pee Wee football trophies. I have it over in the shelf. Like, because it was special to me that my dad gave me a trophy. Dude, I was 5.
Did your dad go fight Rob Pelinka for not giving you a tap dance trophy?
No, no. And I will hold that against him. Like, when it comes to Christmas time, yeah, sorry.
I
Here,
mean, there's still time. I think
I
your dad
got
should
your
take
present
Rob
right
Pelinka.
here. It's a little smiley face ball that my father-in-law 3D printed. You didn't get me like that, but come on, you're LeBron freaking James. The kids today think you're the greatest thing of all time, and this goes right up there with like him jumping up and down and throwing a tantrum while
That,
not getting a foul call.
that's the ammo that the Jordan people have against LeBron, is that they see him as, being a flopper and a whiner.
The baby is what he is.
Yeah, I mean that's what plays into that perception. That's where he gets dinged.
Okay, so with that now, because he's still, like you said, he's still a capable basketball player. Financially, for his next contract, this is where I got to go to Brian Windhorst at ESPN. The Lakers don't want to give him a max contract. Fair, absolutely fair.
Yeah.
And if the negotiations stall out now because of this, you're looking at him either leaving or potentially doing a sign and trade. The 3 teams most often listed in this sign and trade space: Golden State, Cleveland, and the Knicks. Yeah.
I mean, you think of all those situations. So Golden State gets older. The Knicks, how does he fit into that situation?
He doesn't, and I'm going to tell you how in a second.
The only one that makes a little sense is Cleveland. Just, it'll sell tickets. he won't, make them better or worse necessarily.
As I was looking this up, I ran into it's with NBA trades and all that. It's always finances. Always finances.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the term the apron?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to explain the apron because I didn't either. This was in the collective bargaining agreement in 2023. So the apron refers to a set of strict financial thresholds that sit above the luxury tax. Historically, the NBA had that soft cap, meaning if you had a ton of money, you just spend whatever you wanted,
Right.
and you just took on the penalty, and it was fine. To level that, in 2023, the CBA introduced a 2-tiered apron system: the first apron and the second apron. Why did they call it apron? I don't know. But instead of just punishing teams with cash penalties, the aprons would inflict roster-building penalties. So once a team breaks the first apron in terms of payroll, and I think it's like, I saw it was 7 to 10 million over the cap. What happens to that team is they lose salary absorption, so that you can't take on more money than you send out. You can't buy out a player during the regular season, and you have restrictions about sign and trades. You cannot acquire a sign and trade player. So those are the penalties that you run into after the first apron. The second apron, which is also known as the death zone, that's their words, not mine. If you're 17.5 million above the cap, this is where things get really bad. You can't offer a mid-tier, mid-level exception contract. You can only sign free agents to the veteran minimum. You can't aggregate salaries in trades, which means you can't combine 2 or more player salaries to trade for a single, even if it's one for one.
Yeah.
You can't trade 2 10s to get a 20. You're not allowed to do that. You cannot send cash in a trade, and your draft picks are frozen. You can't trade them. And like, if you're a team that, it really hampers teams from they don't want to go above the luxury tax too far. And this is where the Knicks come in, because obviously LeBron in New York, it'd be a massive media story, especially if it's his swan song in the NBA. They're above the first apron already, because they have such, when they picked up Karl Anthony Towns, that pushed them above the first apron. And if they do a sign and trade, which is probably what LeBron would want financially, he can't go to the Knicks, because the Knicks, that would push them into the second apron, and they're like, oh, that's not going to happen. So the only way that LeBron goes to New York is on a veterans minimum or a tiny mid-level exception. And everywhere that I read said like that's not going to happen. So
And also, if
that's why New
like
York's out.
if you have to think of it from both sides of like, why would the Knicks want to potentially upset the very, very delicate balance of the locker room by bringing in a guy like LeBron at that point, especially in a city like New York?
The only thing I can think of is like, this is the same team that got rid of their coach after making the conference finals. So if they don't make the finals this year, you look at that move as like, well, that was very reactionary. Let's go get the best player of this generation then, even if he is 107 years old.
But also, if you're LeBron and you go to New York, you know what people are immediately going to start saying? They're going to just get louder with the accusations of ring chasing.
Well, that's
like
my
you have
thought
to
in
chase
Cleveland.
Jordan's 6 rings. You're going to go to New York now when you're 41, 42 years old. That's what everyone's going to be telling him.
That would be my thought if he went to Cleveland. So let's talk about how the sign and trade would work there. Because the trade calculator or something spit this one out. The Cavaliers would send Jared Allen, who is making $28 million, and he averaged 15, 8, and 1. He had a win share of 6. A good player to LA. And the LeBron James signing would put Cleveland under the first apron because they get rid of Allen. Going to the Eastern Conference is an easier path to the playoffs. And like those are the words that I saw. Like the Cleveland Cavaliers just won 60 games last year. They're in contention for the Final Four in the NBA. So they're good, but for LeBron to go east because it's an easier path to the finals, like you said, that hurts his legacy a little bit. I don't know. Financially, I get why Golden State and Cleveland makes sense. Golden State, I'll tell you the move that the calculator came out with: Andrew Wiggins, Kevin Looney, plus a young asset or a draft pick go to LA for LeBron James. And like you said, Golden State does what? They just get older. And
I'm trying to imagine LeBron and Draymond Green getting along for 8 months in the same locker room.
Well, you know what? Now that you mention that, I think that's a good reason for us to root for LeBron to go to LA. I think LeBron with Steph Curry would be interesting 5 years ago.
I mean, it would be interesting. Like, someone would try to make a documentary about two of the best players of their generation finishing their careers on the same team. Like, that would be interesting. I don't know if it would be interesting on a basketball level, but it would be interesting on a, like, ego and career narrative level.
Yeah, I don't know. And Steve Kerr just signed a 2-year deal, two-year extension or 2-year contract, whatever you want to call it. So there's some stability on the bench in Golden State. I think it would be really interesting to see where LeBron ends up. I think just because of the whole fairy tale narrative, he's already gone home once. The way he left home, that's the reason why I have a general dislike for him. The 60-minute long program, the decision, that was enough. Going back to Cleveland, he already did that fairy tale. I don't know if he needs to do it again. So
it gets exhausting. It's exhausting. Like, it's one of the more exhausting parts of this, the players era is these players who cherry pick their next landing spot. It's like, why can't you just build something? Why do you have to move into a ready-made home?
At 42, that makes sense, but like he did it twice already now, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, 3 times because he went Cleveland to Miami, then he did Miami to Cleveland, then he did Cleveland to LA.
Well, the Cleveland to LA, I don't know how much he pulled for the AD trade.
Yeah, it was him and AD, and then they got the bubble ring.
How much weight do you give the bubble ring?
I mean, I put an asterisk on the bubble ring.
Is it it's on a full, is it like 0.75? Is it 0.5 for you?
It's see, it's tough because it was a unique situation, but it was unique for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, like people who want to. It's not a full ring, in my mind, but yeah, it's somewhere like between 0.75 and 0.8 of a real ring.
So you see, sitting on 3.75 rings. That's funny.
Let me get my conversion chart. Hold on.
And sure, that's we'll find out where he goes when we find out. But until then, I think you're going to hear a lot of chatter, maybe after the NBA Finals, because now that the Lakers are out and that is their outness is fresh. Yeah. So there's that. Baseball time. We're getting close to when you would start to say, well, these are the standings. This is where these teams are going to be. And I'm going to start out west. The Mariners are 22-25. They just got some bad news on Friday, I think it was. First time in his career, Cal Raleigh's heading to the IL. They're hanging around. I mean, they're really close to Sacramento. Never thought you'd say that. But
the La Jolla A's.
Big Dumper not having a really good post backup MVP season. Last I checked, he was hitting 161. He did have 7 homers, but with 57 strikeouts. First trip to the IL, you hate to see it for a big name like that, and you don't wish injury on anybody. But it was neat the season he had last year. You kind of hoped he could duplicate that. I mean, that would be good for baseball out west.
It was a great feel-good story. Just this
first trip to the IR right now.
Yeah, and the West, the AL West is anybody. I mean,
somebody's going to make the playoffs in that division.
Yeah, it's
maybe only one team, but somebody.
Yeah, the West and the Central are still just.
We should have the weekly look at the National League Central and where they would fit in the American League West, because, well, last week we talked about this. Standing wise, Cincinnati 24-22, they are in last place. 24-22 would be a half game in first place in the AL West. That's nuts. And like I said, we're getting close to Memorial Day. When you start to worry about these are where the records are, this is kind of what your team is going to be. That the National League Central is super tight. I don't get Cincinnati. The run differential I'm looking at, they're minus 28. They must have had one or two really, really, really bad losses, but they're 2 games over 500.
Yeah, and did you have the Central being not necessarily that like tightly packed, but like everyone being that competitive in the NL Central?
No. I mean, I honestly don't know much about the National League Central. I thought the Cubs were going to win, and they're in first place right now. But it's it's a race, which is cool. Pittsburgh is 5 games out, and they're 2 games over 500. Skeens just had another really good start there. The Braves have cooled off a little bit, but they are currently the only 30-game winner in the all of the majors. Absolutely, just flying past
they've got to be close to a 700 winning percentage, like somewhere between 675 and 700.
They are not between 675 and 700. They are at 674. Right there, you had it. You were right there.
Smarty
best record in baseball right now, and they are 8 games ahead of the Phillies, who have one of the best hitters in all of baseball this year. I think Kyle Schwarber just hit another home run.
The last I'd seen, he was at 20.
He's at 20 right now.
He's ahead of the pace that Bonds.
Is he?
Yeah, I believe Bonds had 20, hit his 20th on May 19th in 01.
Yeah.
And Schwarber hit his 20th on May 15th.
That's
That was Friday, right?
15th, yeah.
Yeah. So he's on pace to be in that 65 to 70 home run range.
So, I mean, today so we lose out on the poop series, and if you know what the poop series is, the way the scoreboards used to be when Philadelphia would play Pittsburgh, you had the logo for the Phillies,
and then 0-0,
0-0, and then yeah. So the poop series continues, and the Phillies will get Paul Skeens today at 1:35 out at PNC. So a tough challenge for Schwarber to get up there. The other thing that I looked at when I look at I like looking at the leaderboards. I killed this name, Munetaka Murakami. I talked about him a couple weeks ago. A guy that I thought the Yankees might have had a shot at going to get to maybe play some third base. Guy's got 17 home runs for the White Sox. So maybe it's the fact that he's in Chicago in a city that's not really super, or on the side of Chicago that's not super pressure about baseball. But man, this guy can hit, dude. 17 homers right now. He's hitting 236, which honestly that's slightly under league average.
Yeah, I mean, when I looked the other day, I think I saw it was something like 15 guys in all of baseball were hitting 300 or better.
So usually I will do this every so often. I'll take all of the qualified hitters and I put them in Excel, and then I find out what's the average. There are a bunch of 300 hitters right now. I'm gonna say maybe 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. 22. 22 guys hitting over 300 right now. So the league average probably, I'm going to say it hovers about 250. Maybe 245. So here you got a guy who has 17 home runs hitting 236. That's really solid, man.
Yeah, he's doing a very narrowly defined job, but he's doing it well.
And the White Sox are a game out of first place, so they're not as bad as maybe we thought they would be going into this season.
These guys aren't that bad.
They're still lousy. Speaking of lousy, oh, dude, it's rivalry weekend in Major League Baseball. So the Yankees are playing the Mets, and they win Game 1, which was really cool. And Game 2, they get another just absolutely amazing start. I'm starting to wonder if it's time to say, is Cam Schlittler the best pitcher in the American League? But the bullpen, again, just our bullpen is you, me, Derek, Jake, and I don't know, whoever's making that noise in my kitchen right now. It's probably Maria. Such an awful bullpen.
Go check if the person making the noise is a lefty or a righty.
Maria is probably a righty.
Okay.
So, yeah, the Mets came back. They won Game 2 yesterday. I think the final was 6-3. Rubber game today. It was Rodon's start. So the Yankees actually won Schlittler's start. Whenever box scores, you get these stupid videos. So this was where I was worried. Carlos Rodon's second start, that he just didn't have length. He only gave them 3 2/3 innings. Maybe he's getting the arm stretched out. Maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and I mean, for Boston's part, I mean, it feels like the same story every week. Where I mean, it's uninspiring. It just feels like, it's injuries and lack of offense. It's been the whole story. They're what are they? Are they 5 games under 500? 7 games under 500?
7. They're 19-26. They are. If you look at the league, there are 3 teams with worse winning percentages. Houston, surprisingly, Kansas City, and the Angels. But if you look at in terms of, like you said, offense, runs scored, there's one team with fewer runs scored, Texas, and runs allowed. There's only two teams with fewer runs allowed. So in terms, like, I thought they had a chance pitching wise. So the pitching it appears to be there. You're right. The offense, uninspired, is being nice.
And and they made the point. I forget which night it was of the a few weeks ago, the Yankees Sox series, where it just feels like fans don't want to go to, like, you're seeing pockets of empty seats at Fenway. Like, it's just, it's tough to watch.
What you're saying is we could probably walk up to the gate and get tickets then.
Honestly, we probably could. I'd be curious, even like what the cheapest tickets at Fenway are going for. They're probably pretty affordable.
You mean like at the gate or like through Ticketmaster?
Either.
Well, I can check Ticketmaster. What's the location? Boston. City of Boston or Boston, Massachusetts? What's the difference? We can go see Journey. We can go see Bruno Mars. Or I want to see the Red Sox. The Worcester Red Sox or the Boston Red Sox?
Who's worse?
Okay, so here we go. Friday. This is near me. Do you know where I am? Because I'm not near Boston. May 22nd, Boston versus Minnesota. It is Roger Clemens 20 strikeouts bobblehead night. So a Friday game. I just clicked the get tickets button. Now I'm going to get all kinds of emails from Boston. No ticket transfers. That's fine. Let's see here. Where do you want to sit? Wow. Box seat. Right by home plate. There's 6 tickets. Dude, we're right on the what do you call it? The fence there.
Yeah.
Those are expensive. Those are $771 per ticket. We go back a couple rows. I'm talking like row H. So you're back almost nowhere.
Yeah.
183 per ticket.
Okay.
You know how ridiculous that is? 183 bucks. That's nothing. You can get I see tickets as low as 40.
Oh wow.
Well, hopefully we're still here, because Ticketmaster just it froze on me and I had to close it. I would go to Fenway for $40, but
I haven't been to Fenway in years. It's been since Pedro was there.
That's quite a while. But we'll see where they go. We're almost 50 minutes into the show. We haven't talked about football, so to avoid our fine, what we thought was an interesting concept, interesting idea, was we're going to look at division by division and kind of pull out the most important player on the team. Just can't be a quarterback, right? So we're going to start in the AFC East. I thought was a good place to start. I'm just going by Tecmo Super Bowl. So
Yeah.
usually the first one you saw. So between the Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, or Jets, Tim, I don't care where you start. You pick the team and we'll go.
Let's start. Defending conference champion. Let's start in New England.
New England sounds good. Cool. So, who do you have as the most important non-Drake May?
Can we pick like little Mike Vrabel? Like if he can control? Because honestly, how close did he come to losing his job?
He is a non-quarterback.
I'm gonna go. I had to do a little homework before the show. I had to write these down. I'm gonna go Draymond.
That doesn't look like a bill, though. That looks like a notebook.
Yeah, I'm a real professional now.
You're borderline professionally reporting right now. Look at that.
Yeah. I went with Draymond Jones.
Okay.
just because defense is such a big part of what New England does, and you know, having an edge like him, I think is really going to define what that defense can do.
My first thought was, is this too much to put on a rookie? So like Caleb Lomu, the tackle from Utah, stepping into a line that really needed help
Yeah,
protecting Drake May. Like the Will Johnson experiment did not go like they thought it would.
tough Super Bowl.
But instead of going with the rookie, I was going to go with somebody else along the offensive line, their tight end, Hunter Henry. He was 7th among tight ends last year in yards, tied for 3rd in touchdowns. So when they get in the red zone, he's one of Drake May's favorite targets. Romeo Doubs came in through free agency, so that might open things up a little bit for the offense. But I think Henry comes in as the safety net when you've got a young quarterback still, because Drake May is not a veteran yet. This will be his 3rd year. You like having those safety nets out there, and Henry is, I think, an underrated tight end for him. So I'm going to say Henry's their most important player, but I won't argue with an edge either.
How much regression do you think there's going to be in New England this year? Because it really feels
a lot.
Like
I don't think they're not going to make the Super Bowl. I don't think. So there's going to be some.
It feels like they really played above their heads last year. I mean, is this a team that misses the playoffs this year?
Oh, no, well, I haven't thought that far. I think they'll contend for the division. I do. I don't think they're going to be bad. I don't think they're going to be 13-4. The schedule just came out, so we could actually we could figure out what we think our records are outside of Cincinnati, 17-0.
I was going to say there's only one certainty on the NFL schedule.
Yep. Excuse me while I get rid of that.
You got a dip in?
No, it's called all kinds of mucusy goodness that,
Lenny Dykstra over here.
Still gotten out of there. So that's New England. Where are we going next?
Let's go to Buffalo.
Buffalo sounds good.
I'm with Buffalo. I'm really interested in what they do defensively. I know I was defensive with New England, but Christian Benford, their like lockdown corner, just because you're going to score points as long as Josh Allen's healthy. But like Buffalo got into so many shootouts because they just can't seem to keep anyone off the board. And they have a guy, Benford was, I think, a 5th or 6th round guy who's like worked his way up to being a lockdown kind of corner. And so I think that, if he plays at the level he has, or even just continues to, cement himself as like a premier corner, I think that goes a long way to at least making that a passable defense.
That's fair. So what did you say about Buffalo's offense, about Josh Allen?
They'll score a reasonable amount of points as long as he's healthy.
If he's healthy, yeah. So right there, when you got a guy like Josh Allen, my first thought is who's protecting him. Now, Buffalo had the 6th rated offensive line, according to whatever metrics that I looked up. They've had a really good offensive line for a really long time. And when you have a really good offensive line, I always think it starts in the middle. Connor McGovern, their center, he's going to turn 29 next year, and he just signed a 4-year, I want to say $52 million deal. So how he responds now that he's gotten paid, that whenever you get like a really good player and they get their nice contract, it's how hungry do they stay. And if the Bills' offensive line, I guess they could become better, but usually when you get in that top 5 range, any kind of little dip, you see it significantly in the offense. So I think it's really important that a guy like McGovern stays hungry now that he's gotten paid, now that he's gotten fed. If that makes sense. So I think from an important standpoint, especially for Josh Allen and that offense, who just bring in DJ Moore, who gives him a new toy he can play with, it's going to start up front for me. So we're going to go. You've gone 2 defensive players. I've gone 2 semi-offensive linemen. Amazing.
Well, I've switched up for my last 2.
Oh, okay. Where do you want to go next?
Boy, these are just things are looking up for the Jets.
That's okay.
but this year still might be kind of. Everyone feels like they drafted well, and uh, but Geno Smith's their quarterback. I'm curious if they do draft well again, and who's going to be their quarterback in 2027. If we'll ever get to see what Garrett Wilson can finally do, because he's so talented, he's shown these flashes, and he's just never had the quarterback to match the skill he's bringing out there. Um,
Some, I wrote down for the Jets, is this too much to put on a rookie? Even though the rookie was the number 2 pick, David Bailey, New York didn't have an interception last year. And because of that, obviously they were last in turnovers, but they were also second to last in sacks. Do you know who had fewer sacks than the Jets? There was only one team.
I don't know.
The San Francisco 49ers, amazingly, had 20. Wow. So I think Bailey needs to come in and step right away. But aside from him, I said because of the fact that Geno Smith is their quarterback, I really think they need another big year from Breece Hall in the backfield, where if you look at his numbers, this was his first year. Last year was his first year hitting 1,000 yards. He can have a breakout year, but the problem is Geno Smith is your quarterback. And if he's the lone bright spot on an offense that a defense can key on, maybe Garrett Wilson has a big year on the outside. That could work. I think our two important players work off each other. They just have the same problem, and it's Geno Smith.
Yeah, I think the Jets are going to be frustrating in a different way this year because they do have some pieces, but Geno Smith is just so bad that he's going to hold them back. But then I think they're going to have another relatively high draft pick, and I think they could be a good team in 2027, 2028.
The hope is adorable.
Speaking of hope, let's go to a place where there is very little of it. Miami is bad.
I had a hard time with this one, honestly. This might, of all of these, I have the fewest notes written down.
Yeah, I also struggled this one with,
I'm not even sure if you include the quarterback if it's easy because.
Yeah, is it Malik Love? Did they bring in?
The guy. Is it Jordan Love?
Or not Jordan Love.
Malik Willis. Malik Willis.
Malik Willis. Yeah,
Green Bay.
He was Jordan Love's backup in Green Bay. Malik Willis. But he's got the job in Miami.
He is number 1 on the depth chart, ahead of Quinn Ewers, Cam Miller, and Mark Gronowski.
Oh.
Gronowski. Yeah, he sounds like one of the Bears super fans. With
hearing those names gave me a heart attack. Quinn Ewers is the backup?
Yeah.
Oh. So they have the Achon guy, the running back, who ran for like 1,300 yards last year.
And he's the best player.
They paid him in the offseason. He's the third highest paid running back in the league now, behind CMC and Saquon. So there's not a whole lot in Miami. He's one reason to get excited.
Yeah, I guess.
The weather. They have nice weather there.
The Golden Girls are down there. You can go see Blanche.
Good Cuban food.
So I looked at their defense, and they lost probably their best edge rusher. Bradley Chubb went to Buffalo. So if you look at on their defensive side, this guy's going to get a lot of opportunities. Linebacker Jordan Brooks had 183 tackles last year, 99 solo, and he probably becomes the captain of that defense. So I went with Jordan Brooks just because I had to pick somebody from the Miami Dolphins.
What a weird
as their
division.
most important players.
That you have two teams. You have the reigning conference champion, then you have the team that's been right there in the conversation for best in the AFC, and then just two absolute dogs.
It is something to behold that AFC East is
very top heavy.
Whew. And it looks to be like that in 2026 as well. So next week we'll cover a different division. I don't know
We
who.
can go to the north. We can go to.
Figure it out. I don't know if I'm ready for the North. Oh my gosh, Cincinnati, the level of importance outside of, woo, that'll be
Well,
fun.
the roster is just stacked with the kind of talent that leads you to a 17-0 season.
Beating them. Who's beating them? I just, you know what? That reminds me. I saw this picture on one of these social medias that says it had a picture of like the Cleveland Browns offense, like Shedeur Sanders, and the quote was, "Who's stopping this offense?" Like, I
That's a real quote.
yeah, like, well, Shedeur Sanders for starters is going to stop this offense because whatever. Uh,
I think it tells you everything about the Pro Bowl that Shedeur Sanders was went to the Pro Bowl last year, and now might lose his job to Deshaun Watson, who hasn't started since like 2021.
Years, yeah. So I saw this. Now this is old news, but it's new news. If this makes sense. I really didn't pay too much attention to the talk that the Big Ten initially proposed, a 24 team playoff. But it got back in the news because the ACC just jumped in to support it. This was back in February, the Big Ten brought this up. I don't remember if we talked about it then, but I really thought we should talk about it now because this is one of the goofiest things ever. Have you seen any of this?
Yeah, and
So here's the structure of it. Here's the structure. Just 18 automatic qualifiers, 6 at larges. So the top 8 teams get a bye. The top 8, not just the top 4. The two rounds of home games for the higher seeds, I guess, or whatever, before we go to bowl games. The automatic bids would be the top 4 teams from each Power 4 conference plus 2 from the group of 6. So if you look at the screen right now, this was the end of last year's college football season. This is what they would have projected out to be a 24 team playoff. And I don't know if, like, I love college football. If you are a team like Miami, let's say you're Miami, you've got to win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4? You got to win 5 playoff games. If you're Indiana, you've got to win 4. That's insane.
What's this going to mean for the regular season? Like conference plays are irrelevant, conference championships are irrelevant.
I saw, and this is why I really, really wanted to talk about this, because I saw this picture again, on the social medias, and it's a picture of Michigan, Ohio State, and it was something to the effect of, can you imagine a version of the game where the coaches are resting their starters because the playoffs are coming up?
Absolutely, I can.
Oh my God!
It'll be no different than if the Eagles and the Cowboys are playing in Week 17 with nothing on the line. They're both in the playoffs. Why would you play? Your starters.
And that just goes to where my feeling on college football is versus kind of like the direction we're going in, I guess. I've long said a successful year for me is beating Penn State, beating Ohio, winning the Big Ten, winning a bowl game in that order, right? The fact that there's
beating
even
Penn State over beating Ohio State.
Oh no, maybe not in that order. I was okay. in terms of the schedule. You beat Penn State before you beat Ohio State. Don't worry.
Don't go by what I said. Go by what I mean.
Yes, exactly. No, but the fact that there's even consideration about that here in May, that if you're in the top 4 in the Big Ten, and you're looking at, let me find like you're Illinois right there, and you're looking at BYU. Maybe we don't play like Underwood's not going to start. We're going to put Tommy Carr out there, or vice versa, whoever the starter is. I don't know, man. Like I don't like that.
I don't like anything about this, because the season now just becomes a trial run. It just becomes an excuse to, have injuries or have something that derails you before the playoff.
And I will go back to I think when we had two or pre BCS when it was just the reporters, that was bad. The BCS itself when it was just the top two, that wasn't perfect. The top four was okay. I mean, you still had you could have a fight over 4 and 5, especially with conference champs. I think for me the perfect number would be 6, where you give the number 1 and the number 2 team buys, you run it like the NFL. But what we have now is still a lot to me, but it's better than 24 because at some point you're going to have March Madness, you're going to have 64. You know that.
I mean,
because the money is too big.
Personally, I like 8.
Live with 8.
Give me a nice, simple, like, that way you still get, like, like a team like a Miami last year that could make a run, where it's an interesting story, but
you got to win your conference. Win your conference, or if, like, you have a situation where, like in the SEC or the Big Ten, the second place team is like 10-1. But this like, is goofy.
Yeah, 24. We're just going to be like reaching to fill spots now.
We really need to see. I don't know. Let me see this game here. LSU Oklahoma. Honestly, do we really need to see Cincinnati Notre Dame before Notre Dame Georgia?
In how many years are there?
Georgia 24? Tech gets a bye here. Look at Georgia Tech gets a bye.
In how many years are there more than even 12 legitimate contenders for a national title?
Few, if ever.
So now double it.
Yeah, that's crazy. As I said, it's. Do we really need Arizona State Vanderbilt? How much? I mean, I love football. I don't love football enough to watch North Texas, Missouri. I don't know. But now, before we get into the next segment, apropos of nothing, I asked you to rank your top 5 all-time Michigan quarterbacks. Did you do this?
I did.
Okay. All right. I need them with no, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just who do you have? I'm going to write them down.
Okay. And you said this was purely based on what they did at Michigan.
Correct.
And I limited it to just quarterbacks who I have watched.
However, whatever your ranking is, it's your ranking. I don't care if you give me, whoever.
So I went JJ. I went Brian Greasy.
Brian Greasy. So Greasy's 2.
Yes.
Okay.
I went Chad Henne.
Chad Henne 3.
Denard.
Robinson.
And then Mr. Can I Buy a Vowel himself, Elvis Gerbach.
Okay, excellent. So the reason for this, and it'll make sense here now that we're going through this. The end of school is approaching, and one of the things that some of my colleagues and I do, we've mentioned this before on the show, we celebrate our day by tracking how many days we have to graduation. So with the jersey number, so like Larry Bird would be day 33, Don Mattingly would be 23, so on and so on. Friday was day 9 for us. So who would a good number 9 be for you?
Ted Williams.
Ted Williams. I even wrote that down. Ted Williams would be a good call for you. So on Friday, I go with J.J. McCarthy as my number 9. And in my email, I wrote that McCarthy had arguably the best career of any quarterback at Michigan ever. I mean, he's 27-1, national title, right? 3-0 versus Ohio. So our good friend, Coach Saunders, calls me out in the email, and he said, and I quote, J.J. McCarthy sucks. He benefited from a strong run game at Michigan, just saying. So I go down to his room, and we're talking like I do every morning, and he asked me who my top 5 Michigan quarterbacks were of all time, and he threw me on the spot. I had no time to think about it, and this is what I gave him. I gave him J.J. McCarthy, number 1. I went Chad Henne, number 2. I went Tom Brady, number 3, with memories of the Orange Bowl. I went with John Navarre, number 4, because off the top of my head, he started as a sophomore. This is back when Michigan quarterbacks didn't start as sophomores.
Yeah.
His first game, I think, was UCLA. And just number-wise, he had a great career. And I went with Elvis, number 5, with a hat tip honorable mention to Jimmy Harbaugh for his 2-0 against Ohio State. But I think Coach was more upset that I left Rick Leach off the list. And I think Leach absolutely deserves some love. But I think the fact that he played, like you said, your list was only quarterbacks you saw.
Yes.
And I think when he threw me, like, give me your top 5, I went with who I saw. I didn't go digging deep into the historical nature of the position. So I thought to myself, well, he wanted to get other people's opinions on it in the email thread. And I told him, I said, Coach, nobody in this building cares about Michigan football more than I do. And I think if you go up to any teacher and say the name John Navarre, they're going to be like, do I have him in third period? Who is that?
Right.
That's such an obscure name because he didn't do much in the pros. I mean, if you say Tom Brady, it's, yeah, of course, he's the great pro career, but he fought with Drew Henson for playing time when he was at Michigan.
That's what dinged him for me, is that he wasn't even, the go-to starter for.
He beat Alabama. That was enough for me.
Yeah, he like the Sean Alexander Alabama team in the Orange Bowl.
Oh, so Alabama went ahead 14-0. We tied the game. Then they went ahead 28-14. So Brady led 2 14-point deficiencies, 2 14-point comebacks to win a game on a missed extra point. But still, that's what put him on the list again right then and there. Denard Robinson, I love that you put him on there because if you look at just the numbers, statistically, he was better than I think the win-losses in the Rich Rod era would give him credit for.
Just
4th all-time in touchdown passes.
Yeah, just so entertaining.
Fastest guy I think I've ever seen at quarterback.
Yeah.
The run against Notre Dame, forget about it. But I wanted to get another Michigan fan's perspective. And so your list, once again, for Coach, you went with JJ number 1. So there's that. Brian Greasy number 2, the national championship probably helps.
Yeah, that's where I was like, only 2 quarterbacks have led Michigan to a title in my lifetime.
So my number 2 is your number 3, Chad Henne, an amazing career. I put Navarre in there. You put Denard in there. That's totally fair. And then we both had Elvis 5th. So I feel justified in my list now. So thank you.
You're welcome.
And, and Rick Leach, again, tremendous career, but I think 2 things hurt him. 1, we didn't see him. And 2, they ran a different offense back in the day. So, like, number-wise, and for me, the numbers that really mattered for JJ were 27-1 and 3-0. Those were the big ones for me.
And it's easy to ding, like, if it's not a running game, then it's like, oh, well, this quarterback won because he had an elite defense. It's like, yeah, that's why football's such an amazing sport. It's a lot of moving parts.
I told Coach, I said they've all had good running games.
Like, people want to ding Troy Aikman. He's like the modern Joe Namath, where they're like, oh, he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame because he had that offensive line in Emmitt Smith. It's like, did you actually watch Troy Aikman? Like, that was a Hall of Fame quarterback. So to say that JJ's not,
his pro career, what he's done in Minnesota,
he's separate.
Absolutely a top 10 bust. Injuries hurt him, but he's a we'll see. I mean, we don't have any tape on him, so
yeah,
I don't know. So that's that. We are now at, I think, maybe your favorite time of the show.
I think so, and this was a very peaceful week for me. I don't have anything to put on the list. Excellent.
Then here we go. I'm gonna do something here. Hang on here. We gotta. It's our first. Where's the button? They moved things. Here we go. The Restream is going to get on the list. So I want you to listen to something here for me. Gotta. Can you hear this?
Yep.
Okay. That's rough. How you feeling?
I'm not sure.
That part sounds like the Matrix to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to enlist in the military or fight like an alien race or something.
Back in the day, when we were in high school, I used to like musical soundtracks,
Yeah.
instrumental stuff like that. I think this is pretty tough music.
Is it from a movie score?
Is it from a movie score? No, it is not. No, I'm gonna let this go here. This song, what you are listening to right now, is called "A Mother of a Revolution." So, Watertown High School in Wisconsin, they have about 1,000 students. By PA standards, they'd be 6A, and they have a band concert coming up. It's tomorrow, actually, this concert, and the piece you're listening to was supposed to be one of the selections they're supposed to play. It is a powerful symphonic work composed by Omar Thomas in 2019, commissioned by the Desert Winds Freedom Band to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising, which, if you're not familiar, was demonstrations of the LGBTQ plus community against police harassment, which started at the Stonewall Inn, which happened to be owned by the mafia. So La Cosa Nostra was down with the cause, which you wouldn't think was the case with Vito on The Sopranos, but I digress. In Waterton, the band director went through the channels about, like, these are the musical pieces we're going to play, and students are allowed to opt out for, whatever reason, and this was done in October, right? Only one student chose to opt out. Okay, fine. But I think it was just last week, I don't know if you saw this, the school board votes to remove the song from the concert just days before the concert. So my issue, perhaps less that they got rid of the song, but the fact that they did it a week beforehand. These kids, and trust me, I have a student who's in band. I know the amount of practice that these kids put into. This is hard music to play. Listen to this. There's multiple things going on here with that piece of music, and the fact that they let these kids practice it for as long as they did, and then they just said, like, a week beforehand, we're getting rid of it. That was enough. That, I mean, I'm going to put the entire Waterton School Board on the list for this, but there's the face of it. Did you see any of the video about this, by the way?
I did, yeah. I think I know exactly who you're going to put up to.
His name is Carl Schwarzy, and I'm going to show you his election website. This is Carl Schwarzy for the Waterton School Board. First of all, it's a Weebly website, and he wants to connect. There's his email. He's still got a Hotmail address. No hate for anybody else who may have a Hotmail address, but, like, this is his website.
He's upset that Ask Jeeves just went out of business.
That is absolute lunacy. And if you watch any of the videos about how just unprofessional a school board can be by making a decision and then not talking to the media about it.
Yeah, I
they
saw
pulled the no comment.
They snuck out of there.
If you want to vote on something controversial, own it. Talk about it. Get your voice out there. Don't run away from a reporter. This reporter is like 18 years old, because Watertown, Wisconsin is a small place. The media is big now because of this. Like, we're only the 7,000th media program to bring this to light. But that is so irritatingly cowardly. Guess what, Carl Schwarzy and Waterton School Board? You just made the list.
Also, I'd love if, like, before any of the school board members had been told, like, the origin story of that song, if you played it for them, they would have just been like, yeah, this is nice. This is fine.
My thing is, and that's why I started out at the beginning, you know what that song was? It sounded cool. It sounded like The Matrix meets Independence Day.
Yeah.
And a lot of people online are like, just play it anyway. And my thought was exactly that. If you played it now, see, when you go to a concert, they have a kid come up to the microphone and they say, we just played Jingle Bells and this is where it's from, blah blah blah. They give you a little history of it because most parents, me included, won't know what it's from. And it's really interesting that this is why we picked it. I was just at a Glee Club concert on Friday singing, and there's lyrics in the song they sing. There's no lyrics in this song. It's straight instrumental.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, if your feeling on the matter is such that you want to opt out, they gave the students that choice. I think that's fair. They had 3 students opt out. 2 of them opted back in. For whatever reason, they don't go into that. But for me, the irritation is you're in a elected position of power. Answer for what you're doing. Like let's have some kind of transparency. And we all know why they said no, but at least have the guts to come out and say it.
It really is. If anyone who sees this and they want to know more about it, there are videos of news stories, and it really is
more popular news than Soup and Meatballs.
Yeah, if you're not getting your small town Wisconsin school board news from Soup and Meatballs, if you want to supplement your knowledge, it is infuriating to see the people just sneak out of that school board meeting while the reporter's like, can you answer this? Like,
I saw videos of reporters going to their houses, and like they're trying to go investigate this, but yeah, there it is. So Waterton, you just made the list. Quick hitter time.
Woo.
Let's do happy stuff now. Are you ready?
I am always ready for happy quick hitters.
I have to do something else or get this ready because that's coming up later. Okay, here we go. Number 1, the NFL just released their schedules and social media teams did their thing. Did you watch any of these schedule release videos that the social teams put out there?
I watched a few of them, yeah.
You have any favorites?
I feel like Tennessee always does a really good job with theirs. And what they did this year was they had someone from their social media team go around Nashville trying to find people who looked like famous sports figures, like famous football figures.
I saw that.
Yeah, where it was like, hey, look, it's CJ Stroud. Yeah.
I saw one where there's this video that I see where they take paint and then they mix the paint and they get like a new color. I watch really goofy stuff, I guess.
Was that the Jets?
Was it the Jets that did this one?
Yeah, I think the Jets did the paint
that same concept, and they made team colors out of it. And like this is the week 2. I thought that was nice. I mean, I don't need who was it? Tyreek Hill and then the one last year getting like. I don't need controversy in my video. And I also don't need like what the Chargers do. God, they spend so much money for this. I think they made like a Fortnite one this year.
They did, yeah.
Straight up amazing stuff they do. So there's that. Number 2, I saw a headline, and this is what the headline says. A high school in New York's graduating class breaks school record with 21 valedictorians, which begs the question, was one the previous record or not?
I think it begs the question, why was LeBron James not one of the valedictorians?
He is currently whining about that.
If he ends up on the Knicks, he's going to go to that school's graduation and be like, what's the deal? What, my GPA is not good enough?
Yeah, what about me? Number 3, something LeBron James did not do was go to college, but something Charles Woodson Jr. will do is go to college, and he's going to go to Ann Arbor. So welcome to Ann Arbor, Charles Woodson Jr., the son of Heisman Trophy winning, his father committing to the Wolverines last week. He's a 3-star recruit, so if you look at that, so is Mike Hart. If the kid's coachable, he can be a contributor. So, Tim, what do you think about that?
The football aside, I think it's just great that when like legacy stuff like that in families gets to get passed down, just like having another member of the Woodson family going to Michigan. Football aside, I think that's just cool for father and son.
I saw an article that said the exact opposite. It said this is straight nepotism and blah blah blah. But if I looked him up, he had offers from Florida State, Oregon, Texas A&M. It's not like they offered me over here. Like this kid can play, and if he's coachable, I think, is he going to be his dad? Is he going to win a Heisman Trophy? Probably not.
And
But
also,
can he be a contributor on defense for Whittingham? Yeah, I think so.
and also, is this the most egregious example of placating a prominent alum or booster? I doubt it.
Yeah,
Not
seriously.
even close.
No. So, all right, here we go. We're going to do another video here. Let me just share my screen. We're going to go with this. This, I look at a lot of the tickety talk stuff, and it's graduation season across the country. And one of the things that started a few years back was the mascot reveal. You ever see these videos?
I don't know if I have.
Okay, you've never seen a mascot reveal. So here we go. We're going to give you one. We're going to give it to you with a twist because it hurts a little bit. So let's put this on the screen. Yeah, sorry. Is Brutus. But give it a second. This is Emily Hayward. Emily Hayward is from Mars, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania girl. She studied biomedical engineering. The fourth female Brutus. How about that? The fourth female Brutus. And the last one is also named Emily. Now, the main reason for this, the main reason I'm telling you this, is that Emily Johnson, who I'm going to stop sharing, and, it's upset the Ohio fans with that. The main reason for this is she's now working as a clinical account specialist in Pittsburgh for Johnson & Johnson Electrophysiology MedTech. So in case you ever get a resume in your neck of the woods for Emily Hayward, you know how to start the interview.
Go Blue.
More college football news because, it's not college football season, but we'll talk about it. Last summer, I don't know if you remember, we talked about EA, the video game people. Mm-hmm. They were going to pay colleges based on how often their schools were played in the game. You remember that?
Vaguely.
So now we have some data on this. Missouri State has revealed they were awarded, $100,000 in royalties by EA. Missouri State was the 69th, most often used team. So, Tim, if the 69th most used team got $100,000, who do you think was number one, and how much do you think they got? It's got to be like a big school, like in Ohio or in Alabama. But
I was going to say someone like Texas.
How much do you think they're getting?
How much can EA afford to give out?
100,000 went to the 69th school. I'm thinking it might be $1 million.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe like 500,000.
That's fair. I don't know. All right, next one. We have another video because why not? I want you to check this out. I don't know if I have audio. No audio in this. Oh, well.
Look at that jacket.
That's pretty cool. So this is the Knight Rider Big Wheel. So have you ever seen the Knight Rider show back in the day?
Of course.
Of course you have. Now, here's the Knight Rider Power Cycle, adult assembly required. So in the video, they showed you the really cool slider bar.
Yeah.
My question to you is, one, how great a job did they do marketing that to kids? And two, what's the percentage chance that the spinner actually worked when the kids actually tried to do it?
I'll tell you this. I had on my my big wheels when I was a kid. I did the handbrake thing, and I went skidding. This when we lived in New Jersey, and we had these decrepit brick front steps, and they crumbled and fell on my head. I destroyed our brick steps by doing a burnout.
How fast were you going?
How fast did it feel like I was going? I was probably 4 or 5, so it felt like I was going about 120 miles an hour.
Nice,
I
nice.
was probably going like if I'd run over a slug, it would have had a good chance of surviving.
Do you remember the hill? Of course you do. For Heights Terrace Elementary down that whatever
Oh
road
yeah,
that was.
yeah.
I used to ride my bike down that hill, and it felt like I was going 100 miles an hour. I was probably going about 15, maybe tops. But
The field,
there's no.
the field at the bottom of that hill is where my little league team had practice.
Yeah, we had practice there too. But there's absolutely no way that spinner worked. Not a chance.
I
Not a
didn't
chance.
even know there was a Night Rider. That was news to me.
Well, there, you get your Waterton High School school board news here at Soup and Meatballs, as well as your 1980s big wheel toy, whatever.
We're a real cornucopia.
We are, and speaking of that cornucopia of 80s toys knowledge, we're at everybody's favorite part of the show now, draft time, and I've seen a lot of videos. That's this show. It's like how many videos has Max seen? A lot of videos saying that the new Masters of the Universe movie is going to flop because of Jared Leto and because it's opening as the same weekend as Scary Movie. First off, Scary Movie, really?
It looks terrible.
That's going to stop He-Man from having a good opening weekend or a good run. The whole Jared Leto thing, I get it. I looked up why he's hated. That's a rabbit hole for another day. But still, I think the Masters of the Universe movie is going to do fine. It's going to be. I'm going to go see it 75 times. So
if Barbenheimer taught us anything, it's that two big movies can open on the same weekend and do just fine.
amazing. So what we're going to do here on Soup and Meatballs for the next couple weeks or so, we're going to draft our favorite He-Man characters, but we're going to split them up. So this week we're looking at our favorite heroic warriors, otherwise known as the good guys. But I said we shouldn't pick He-Man because that's probably both of our top pick. I mean, let's get the sub characters a little bit of love. So here we go. Let's get this big full screen here. I don't know why I'm shuffling. I really don't have to. I need number and a color.
I'm gonna go 4 black.
4 black. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the Alaska Purchase. It is the 5 of clubs, and by clubs I mean spades. The Alaska Purchase is new. I don't remember doing this one with you. 1866, the Russian government offered to sell the territory of Alaska to the United States. On March 30th, 1867, the two parties agreed that the U.S. would pay Russia $7.2 million for the territory of Alaska. $7.2 million. Like, LeBron James could buy Alaska like 200 times.
Yeah, now that buys you like a second-rate shortstop for maybe 3 to 4 seasons.
I'm not even sure it gets you a second-rate shortstop, quite honestly. So, all right, let's get the draft board. Bing, Tim drafts first. All right, you are up.
I have a couple ways I can go here. So I had told you before we started that my main criteria was how much I remembered the toys.
Yeah, so same here. And like I looked up, I got the list of I looked up heroic warriors, and there were a number on there that are like, who is this person? Who
Same.
is this? But I think they're mostly those ones were like the ones in the cartoon, like Lizard Man. Man.
I think the toy that I enjoyed the most though was Ram Man.
Ah, okay. So I'm glad you went there first, because I had Ram Man listed strictly for the cartoon because the toy sucked. He couldn't move his arms. He couldn't hold anything. He was a terrible toy.
I just used to love to put him in the position where he was coiled down, and then I would hit the release and just make him hit his head against the door of Castle Grayskull.
How often did you hit Dave in the head with Ram Man? Be honest.
Probably more than once.
Did Ram Man come with a? So when you bought a He-Man figure, they came in this container. But they had a weapon and a comic with it.
Yeah.
Did Ram Man come with a weapon? Could he hold like a club? Because he
I
wasn't
don't
doing
think so.
anything with it.
His arms were like welded to his sides.
Yeah, yeah, they were absolutely. He was definitely a one of one mold. Like you could
Yeah.
make all the other figures, you just pop the different head on because all the molds are pretty much the same. So that's fair. But Ram Man the cartoon, he was funny. He was like a smartass. I liked him in the cartoon, and he was kind of dumb.
And then we had our football teammate Mike Llewellyn looked a lot like Ram Man.
Mike, you know what? You are not wrong. He was an absolute Ram Man. I'm picturing him now with the weird metal head and yeah. All right, that's a fair pick. So my number one is I'm going to sort of. I'm not cheating with this because he was listed as a heroic warrior, but he got some bad in him. And in this toy, you got 3 for the price of 1. I thought Manny Faces was really cool as a kid, like spinning his head, and he had the weird dragon devil bad guy. But then he turned into a good guy, and he was listed as a heroic warrior. But you kind of got 3 toys for the price of 1 with him.
I had Manny Faces listed on my list as well. It's not a sentence I thought I'd say when the week began.
No, so and the coolness of his name, like man, space E period, like his middle name is E.
Yeah, he's like Manuel Edward
Faces. but Manny sounds like Manny, and like that was a thing. And in the cartoon, his head did like the spinny spin looked like a slot machine. That entertained me as a kid.
Plus, like any kind of character who's like a shapeshifter or like a master of disguise, it's always like a cool thing, like a storytelling element. It
intrigued me as a 6-year-old or whatever I was.
Yeah, like in like the X-Men, like the way that Mystique can be anybody, like that. That's always like really cool.
I'd be with Ron James right now, and I'd get a trophy.
I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go with Battle Cat.
Okay, that's fair.
As my number 2 pick. Again, the toy was just a lot of fun. You could put the little Battle Cat. I don't know if you call it like a helmet.
Yeah. Face guard.
Yeah.
That he could ram things with, so he didn't, protect his cranium. Don't want to give Battle Cat a concussion.
Yeah, you don't want that CTE, kids.
Who was I talking to? I think Roseanne called me the other day, and she was asking me about Panther. And Panther was like the Skeletor answer to Battle Cat, because I don't remember Panther in the cartoon very much, but like as far as toys go, you have some kind of balance, and it was another $6 you could get out of parents. But Battle Cat was cool. I forget. I thought I read something about the mold that they used was like from an old zoo. Like you can buy like zoo animals or something, and the He-Man people are like, "Hey, we could use that."
Also, like the fact that you said it was cool that you could put like the headpiece on and ram stuff. If there's a theme here, it's that I just really like hitting things with my toys.
Yeah, there you go. How many times did you hit Dave with Battle Cat?
We might need to have Dave on as a guest.
Dave, you remember getting hit?
When I was like maybe 18 months or 2 years old, I broke Dave's nose. I hit him in the face with a bucket.
Well, I mean, that's not cool.
Or is it very cool?
Very. I don't know. Okay, so the next one that I'm going to go with, I'm actually going to help you out here, because this one, when I looked it up, it felt like super obscure. So I'm gonna share my screen just in case you don't know who this is. I'm gonna draft a guy named Clamp Champ. You remember Clamp Champ?
No.
Here he is. Let me get the share. Is it sharing? Come on now.
Oh, look at that.
So there he is. So he was one of the newer ones, and the little weapon that he came with was his clamp.
Yeah, like a lobster claw.
And dude, I'm telling you, that was one of the most fun things to play with because there was like a button here. I think this little orange, it feels like a trigger. What that would do is it would like trap the bad guy or whatever. Like you said, lobster claw. It absolutely one of the coolest things. And like I'd clock people in the head with bad guys. I wouldn't clock Rosanna in the head with it. I might have. I don't know.
That would be a great sports nickname for like a really good like defensive standout in basketball. Clamp champ.
The clamp champ, like well, Kawhi Leonard's the claw, so it's the next logical progression. Clamp champ, yeah. Dumb name, but yeah, really cool hero guy. Just for his weapon.
Well, and speaking of dumb, I didn't know that this was a character that was very divisive until I was reading a little online. But I remember as a kid, I thought Orko was funny.
He's divisive. You know what, though? I wonder what I thought. Like, I have to go back to 1984 and ask Minimax, what do you think of Orko? Because I think he was probably, from the cartoon, he was probably fine. He would not have made my favorites, but he did his role.
I think even as a kid, like I realized how corny it was because I was also a fan on Thundercats. How each episode would end with like something dumb happening, and all the characters almost in freeze frame going. Ha, 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 ha. Well, it'd be like.
I will tell you this. I will give Orko is miles better than Snarf. I will die on that hill.
And I was gonna say Orko being Snarf adjacent, I think is what like they're in a specific genre of 80s character. Like Snarf would 100% be on my list.
So the more I think about Orko now, in comparison to Snarf, yeah, Orko's great. And Orko's he's in on the secret, man. He was one of the select few.
A trusted confidant.
Yeah, who was apparently a super sorcerer on his world. Do you remember what his world was called?
I don't.
Oh, come on, smarty pants.
It's funny. For as much time as I watched He-Man as a kid, it's such a blind spot, like large pockets of it. Like I remember G.I. Joe so much better than I do He-Man.
He was a powerful sorcerer in the world of Trala.
See, and now you say that, and I'm like, I wouldn't have known that, but like now I'm like, okay, that sounds familiar to me.
There was one episode where like this female Orko showed up, and like Orko was like trying to rizz her up, and like she asked him to come back to Trala, and he's like, no, my friends need me here, and He-Man's probably thinking, dude, what? We don't need you that much. Go get you some Trala tail, man.
Yeah,
like,
go get some Trala.
So I love it. So my number 3, I'm going to pick a guy who he doesn't fit the mold of like what I liked in a toy, but he was straight up 1980s in terms of his look. He was the dad. He was the mustache guy. I'm going to take Duncan, the Man-at-Arms.
Yeah.
One year I went as Man-at-Arms for Halloween, and I'm not sure why. Like my mother had our friend Carl make me this crazy, like the chest protector with the thing over his face.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, I mean, I'll do it because it's a He-Man guy, but I want to be He-Man. I want a sword. And Duncan was big on like the blaster, and the toy that he came with was a club. A yellow orangish, like with a big ball on top of it. It almost looked like a Larry O'Brien trophy, where he'd like club people on the head. Just as far as importance to the story, though, and the fact that he looked like Burt Reynolds as a cartoon, he deserves to get drafted.
He looked like he could have played like first base or DH for a 1980s baseball team. He was like
definitely
like
Mr. Baseball.
Balboni.
Steve Balboni, Man-at-Arms, exactly. And he's hitting the ball with his orangish yellow club.
Man-at-Arms was also on my list, and I'm excited to kind of see what Idris Elba does as Man-at-Arms.
Yeah, I mean now that CGI is a thing and like new costumes are a thing, like you can make them look cool. in the '87 version, was it John Cipher? He was a fine man at arms, but he was a little old. He didn't look like he was he was going to go to battle with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Idris guy, he looks tougher at least.
Yeah.
He's not wearing the green outfit. I don't know if that matters.
Yeah, and it's funny because, like, I don't know. I've seen mixed things about the trailer. I don't know. Like, the trailer got me pretty pumped to see it.
Dude, all they have to do is say, look, there's a Masters of the Universe movie. I don't need to see a trailer. I'm actually actively hiding away from any new trailers. I don't want to see any of it until the movie.
Yeah, I only saw that very first one.
Yeah, same here. And we actually reviewed it on Soup and Meatballs. I don't need any more. Just tell me when and where, and buy me a Castle Grayskull popcorn thing.
So for my next one, is this my third or my fourth?
You're on 4.
I can't even start to say Fisto without
giggling. I actually, once you started giggling, I started writing Fisto down.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, come on. The look, the name. There are certain memes out there.
I'm gonna help you out here because I didn't realize Fisto had a sword. Did you know that? There he is.
Yeah.
Just the face. Look at the face. He's got the cool beard going too.
Oh yeah.
But the sword. Now that I'm looking at it, that's a cool. It was thick, and the He-Man. It was Tila. I think came with like that little cheap sword.
Yeah.
That's a legit sword right there. So that's cool.
Tila had like a curtain rod. It was like nothing to it.
Yeah. But let's see. We Fisto. Can we find from there we go. The old school cartoon right here. Look at that. Who doesn't love them some Fisto? So,
just a huge hand. It's so dumb.
Now, why do you think that is? Do you think he like injured himself and that's a prosthetic, or like, he's like Luke Skywalker, or is he cheating? Does he have like a boxing glove that's just made out of metal?
Maybe if He-Man makes a lot of bank at the box office, we'll get a prequel, like Han Solo got. It'll just be called Fisto.
How much money does He-Man have to make? If He-Man makes $6 trillion, you're not getting the Fisto backstory. I'm sorry.
Then we're getting a fan-made one, and that fan is me.
There is a fan-made. It's called The Fall of Grayskull, and I backed it on Kickstarter. It's really good. We'll talk about that when it comes out. Okay, so we got to get a picture of this guy, because this guy was absolutely wild back in the day. From a toy perspective, you had the, what do I say, the shell or the mold that most of these guys look like. The guys like Fisto kind of broke the mold because they had like a different thing to them. This guy though, he has a song too, Mr. Roboto. Look at that. He had so if you twisted him, the gears would turn and his mouth would open.
I remember. So
I'm going to take Mr. Roboto, Domo Arigato.
Great song.
Yeah. I don't remember what he sounded like in the cartoon, but the toy though, anything with like moving pieces, like just enamored kids. So the fact that the gears inside of him would spin and his mouth would open, yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I do remember the gears. I remember. I don't know why I thought that was a different character though. What was I doing during He-Man? I wasn't paying close enough attention.
You're thinking about G.I. Joe.
I guess.
I was just totally.
I was shocked how unpopular when I was reading my number 5 pick. But again, it was a toy that I remember liking is Buzz Off.
Oh, the bee.
Yeah, the bee guy.
Yeah. My grandmother lived on Mine Street, Next door to her was Grace Cull, my
Yeah.
cousin. You remember her?
Yeah, of course.
She loved Buzz Off. That was her favorite character because she would say Buzz Off all the time. So she's like, "Oh, you go, just go Buzz Off." He didn't make my list because his wings always broke off.
They did.
He was but he broke the mold in terms of like the toy mold, but he just broke period for me. So, what kind of hate was he getting online?
Just like people who were like, this is a nothing character, or like.
Well, these are all mostly nothing characters. They're sidekicks.
Hamlet.
They're sidekicks. Like how much work did Roboto really do?
It was an 80s cartoon. It was purely like a delivery system for selling toys to kids.
Yeah, I was going to say, it wasn't even a cartoon. It was a 28-minute commercial with commercials built in.
Yeah.
Like, of course you needed to make these characters to make money.
Same with all the 80s, G.I. Joe, same thing. Gem, My Little Pony, like all of that. Care Bears.
But Buzz Off, like... So a lot of these characters would have, like, their evil villain counterpart. And I think I remember Buzz Off's, and he might make my draft of the favorite bad guys. It's largely how the adults in my life responded to them. And like I said, Grace loved Buzz Off, and that was if an adult showed interest in me playing with toys, yeah, that's fair. A lot of these guys on my list here, the one that I'm going to pick as my fifth, people often talk about as he was kind of icky because he had like a weird texture to him. And at first I thought he was a bad guy. I really did. And it was when I looked at the list of heroic warriors and I saw Moss Man there.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. Moss Man was a bad guy, wasn't he? No, he was a camouflage specialist who was a heroic warrior. So yeah, the fuzzy.
You're right about the texture.
Yeah. The fuzziness on it. And he kind of smelled like pine a little bit.
I remember
a pleasant smell for an 80s toy.
And you're right. I thought he was a bad guy too.
Apparently not. Mossman's a good guy. So you're getting all kind of knowledge here on Soup and Meatballs this morning.
Yeah, Wisconsin small town politics, Knight Rider based toys, and the ideological leanings of Mossman.
Do you have any others that kind of like made your list? I had two others that made the list that,
Oh, there was the one guy. I wrote him down. Was it Extendar? The guy who...
Oh, Mechaneck.
Right, there was Mechaneck whose head... But there was another guy whose like limbs extended.
Oh, okay. Was he like a white or like a see-through like...
Yeah. Yeah, I think his name was like Extendor or Extendo or something like that.
It certainly wasn't Extendo.
Was it Extendar?
Extendar, a heroic cyborg warrior. Yeah.
And like his limbs extended.
Yeah, oh my gosh, his face is so creepy. No, seriously. Have you seen the movie Young Sherlock Holmes?
Oh, I think so.
You remember when the guy gets chased by the stained glass window? That's what this face is. Look at that.
Does he have a mustache?
No word on the mustache.
No.
But yeah, so yeah, his arms came out, his legs extended at the knees, and then his head. He probably extended at the waist too.
Yeah.
And so like here's what they look like. They came in these packs. The cool thing about this was they always came with a comic book too. What is this, retro play? That's weird as heck. I actually had, there was two that I listed, and one that I thought was kind of neat because of the special ability they gave him. The fact that Stratos could fly, that gave him a different thing. But you went with Battle Cat. I actually wrote down Cringer. Because all Cringer wanted to do was sleep and eat. And that's kind of like where we are now. Like we played with the kids, we wanted the sword. Now I just want to sleep and eat.
Yeah, that's a good 2/3 of my life, sleeping and eating.
Vegan eating. There we go. So Heroic Warriors ahead of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe in June. I don't know if we'll do the villains next week or we'll take a week off. I don't know. We'll see what comes up. Top five time, and you came up with a top five this week.
Yeah, I thought it might be fun to think about our top 5 sports studio shows. So, you know, whether it's a pregame show, a discussion show, but yeah, just
But you should
non-sport coverage studio show.
put a caveat on this: your top five sports shows, not including Soup and Meatballs,
Yes,
because if that's not number one for everybody, I'm not sure.
obviously.
I kind of had mine listed out, like ranked out, and I have 7, so I'll give you the honorable mentions afterwards.
I have 8. Yeah.
So, well, let's go with my top 7 then. What the hell? You can give me your 7. So number 7 for me was not really technically a studio show, but they treated it as such, and it was primetime wrestling with Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon, because they would often do a lot of work at the desk, and they would give you 5-6 minute back and forth banter. And what I read, it was all ad lib. They didn't even know what they were supposed to be talking about, and they gave you 5 minutes of content before like the next match. So like doesn't really fit studio show, but they treated it like a studio show, and the two of them had chemistry like no others that I saw.
It was always so much better when Gorilla was there. When it was Vince McMahon who was there with Bobby.
Oh, that was like in the 90s they got into that. Yeah, no, that stopped becoming a studio show then to me.
Yeah.
A lot of things on my list have like year caveats to them. So yeah, I'm with you. When Gorilla left, forget it.
Even in the 80s, though, you'd have Vince with like the old powder blue blazer in the studio with Bobby as like a fill-in co-host.
With the WWF logo right on the lapel. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was always great with Bobby and Gorilla, though. So one of my honorable mentions, one of my favorite shows. I never missed it on weekends as a kid, and one of the great theme songs. This Week in Baseball with Mel Allen.
Okay.
With that and you get twib notes.
Okay. I get those. I see those on TikTok now. They come back with like, do you remember this? And then it was like, you make the call.
Yeah, it was just like perfect for like a 7 or 8 year old kid who was just getting into the game.
And you caught like just highlights and bits of the big things going on. That good pick. Didn't make my list. I feel bad now. My number 6 then would have been a combo, and again this is, it's less studio show, but so 30 for 30 went straight documentary, but 30 for 30 was predated by a show called Outside the Lines.
Yeah, with Bob
and
Lee.
And Bob Lee, they would do like maybe a 10-minute package on something, but then they would go to a studio setting where Bob Lee would talk to somebody, or they'd have somebody on set with him, and that was at a time when that nothing else was like that was going on, and that was a big risk I think that Bob Lee took in his career to say, yeah, get me off the SportsCenter desk and put me on this show, because if that show failed, I that was about the time I think when SportsCenter was starting the big show, and like getting back on the SportsCenter desk would have been really hard for Bob Lee, I think. So that was a big risk for him, but I think it paid off. It was a really good and interesting show that they put together.
Yeah, and you're right. It was so counter to what ESPN was doing at that time, because they were going light and fun, like all the ads to This Is SportsCenter, playing up humor and sports.
Follow me to freedom.
Right. And so for Bob Lee to be like, no, I want to do hard hitting sports journalism. I want to look at steroid use, and that's a good pick. I'm gonna go with. And it's a show I enjoy, but I don't like necessarily what it led to. But I'm going to go with PTI.
Okay.
With Wilbon and Kornheiser. But I feel like, as good as Wilbon and Kornheiser were, that's the reason why we have the Skip Baylesses and the Stephen A's.
Okay, I got you.
And a bunch of chowderheads just shouting at each other. Whereas with Kornheiser and Wilbon, like there was something behind it. Like it felt like they were actually arguing positions they deeply felt, and not just trying to rage bait the other person.
Clickbait, yeah, sure. No, that's fair, and I think Wilbon and Kornheiser to me remind me of Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon.
Yeah, I can see it.
They have a really good rapport together.
And there was like play animosity, but you also got the sense that they were getting a beer together afterwards. That deep down they really liked each other.
Yeah, and I actually never got the sense that there was ever any like dislike. There was like some jabbing back and forth,
right?
But
yeah, not real animosity, but yeah, like a friendly little jousting.
So my 5 through 1 now are all true studio shows now. So no more like weird stuff. So my number 5 between 1997 and 2015 or so, I'm going to go with College Game Day. This was when they were actually doing some actual serious X and O preview stuff, and they hadn't devolved into a circus like they are now.
Yeah, Pat McAfee taking his shirt off.
Yeah, I don't need that. Lee Corso's headgear was as circusy as I wanted to get. When he first did that, it was like a cool shtick, and then it became like a tradition. Great, but like, I don't need the Pat McAfee's of the world. Yeah, I'm not his target audience anymore for sure.
A little bit of Pat McAfee goes a long way.
Yeah, that's well said. I think it's cool that they travel from campus to campus. That's great. Like they get the student body involved. The signs are clever. That was always entertaining to me. But it was a good lead into, like, especially when I was in college. It was a good lead into college football for the day. You'd get their broad coverage. They didn't go too super in depth because there was a lot of stuff going on. But I liked the back and forth between Herbstreit and Corso. They had a really good on screen. I think chemistry is important for shows like this.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that was Chris Fowler the host, or why do I think it's Chris Fowler?
Yeah, Chris Fowler was there
back in the day. So like he did a good job of running the show, running the segments. Now they've got like this gambling's big, so we're going to talk about these prop bets, and they got this guy at -5, and they got like Ace Rothstein giving you stuff, Pat McAfee doing his goofy stuff, and
Ace Rothstein dancers.
I don't need what's going on now. So I haven't watched College Game Day in quite a while, but back in the day they were something good.
So I'm gonna quick throw to one other honorable mention, and then I'll give you my number 5. My other honorable mention was NBA Inside Stuff, which was a must-watch. Yeah, and Willow Bay.
Ooh, nice.
An absolute must-watch on Saturdays after Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, before hang time.
Yes. And then for my number 5, I'm gonna go with like old school Baseball Tonight on ESPN.
Yes. Oh man,
Gammons and Harold Reynolds and Carl Ravitch.
That was at 10 o'clock ahead of the 11 o'clock Sports Center.
Yep, you got your web gems. You got like a good breakdown of different things.
They broke down the whole day. They had an hour, so like you can get in depth on stuff. Yeah, that was a great show.
Yeah, I miss it. It's probably why I like my baseball knowledge keeps getting less and less each year. Like what I know about like who's who in the current game is just.
That's fair. So it's a good lead into my number 3. I actually like MLB Tonight. I like Harold Reynolds and Greg Amsinger. I also love like you're watching, and they'll jump into let's go see what Paul Skeens is doing against Bryce Harper, and like it kind of avoids the blackout.
Yeah.
Like if I can watch Phillies Pirates because I have the Pirates cable station here, but you don't, and you can't watch Pittsburgh Philadelphia. But like MLB Tonight will pop into certain games, or they'll be talking about something, and they'll have the box up over here. Like you can watch Seattle Oakland or Seattle Sacramento, and we're going to talk about this. They also go to Studio 42 or Studio 3, whatever they call it, where they have the field.
Yeah.
And they have people come in and they talk about parts of the game that I wouldn't even think of. So like that aspect is really cool for me, which I like to think Baseball Tonight led into that. Like Baseball Tonight became MLB Tonight.
Yeah, and you can see a lot of the old Baseball Tonight in like those clips, like when they bring in like I saw a clip recently where Ken Griffey Jr. was there, just talking about his approach to hitting in the little like you'd said, like the Studio 42 or whatever, like the little miniature baseball field.
It's such a cool studio. I think the look that they gave it.
So I'm gonna go.
I lied. That's actually my number 3. I skipped number 4, so I'll just go back.
So I'll go with another ESPN show that, oh my God, did I love this growing up. NFL Primetime.
Cool. That's the one I skipped.
Okay. But yeah, the old Berman and Tom Jackson.
I caveated it from 1992 to 1996, 97-ish, because then when it was just Boomer and Tom Jackson, that was great. They gave you the music. And the highlights. Exactly, dude. So I remember distinctly watching highlights of the Bears and Lions, and I hadn't seen the game. And this is, pre-cell phone. I couldn't just type in like who won the game. Like, so I'm literally watching to see who won, and it was like watching a short version of the game. It was like a 7-minute highlight package where I'm like, what's coming up next? They did such an awesome job with that, and they didn't have a ton of analysis and all. It was just, this is the game. This is what you missed. And we'll talk about it for 2 minutes. And not a lot of interviews either. It was just Berman and Jackson talking for an hour. It was a great pick, man.
It was just such an enjoyable watch before Berman kind of became a parody of himself.
Yeah, that's sad.
Do you want to go with your next one?
I want to do something real quick.
Okay.
So if...
Are you going to hit us with a whoop?
Oh, no. Really tough to type. They don't have NFL primetime music on Apple here. That's too bad. I was gonna, because like some of that stuff, that music made that show like really.
Absolutely.
So like my number 2, you talked about it a little bit already. I really like Pardon the Interruption, and as far as studio shows go, what I really liked about it the most was the way their graphics worked. Like, if you're watching a show, like, are they ever going to talk about the Yankees? Are they ever going to talk about this? You can see, oh, there's that. And you can kind of guess, that's going to be 5 good minutes. They're going to talk to this guy, and then it's trivia time or, whatever. And I really liked the back and forth between Kornheiser and Wilbon. When they started getting, like, if Kornheiser needed a day off or Wilbon was on assignment, and they started bringing other guys in,
yeah, like
those shows they're not the best for me, but they're still pretty good as far as studio shows go.
Well, like you said, the chemistry matters, and Kornheiser and Wilbon just had it together.
Yeah. So that was my number 2. I have my number 1 left.
So I have 3 left.
Oh my gosh, how did that happen?
I don't know. I have 8 written here. I'll go with one I suspect might be on your list. Did you say you have 1 left?
I have 1 left.
Well, I have the Sports Reporters written here.
That's the show that made me want to get into television.
Yeah. It was a treat to like get up on a Sunday and see, John Saunders hosting, and then whoever it was.
I go back to Dick Schaap, man.
Oh, well, yeah, Dick Schaap before Saunders even.
Dick Schaap, Mike Lupica, Bob Ryan, and
Nick Albom.
It might have been Albom, or Kornheiser did a couple stints on it. So did
Bob Ryan.
So did Wilbon.
Yeah,
that was an amazing, and it was just a half an hour. They only had like 3 segments. That was it,
and it felt like Masterpiece Theater. Like, it felt classy. Like they were on in like sport coat. Like, it made sports journalism seem like, like some sort of like higher calling. And
like
important as that sounds.
That's the show. I wanted to do that show out of high school. So when I went into communications media, I focused on television. What I never knew, and me being naive or stupid or both, all of them were newspaper writers that they just kind of stuck on television. So like when I got to television, it's the genesis of Soup and Meatballs. Really, it's like I wanted to do a show like that, and I have to know
Frank DeFord would be on from time to time.
There was a bunch. Who was the lady from Boston? It was around the horn a bunch. Jackie McMillan. I think she.
Yeah.
Was she on Sports Reporters?
She was on TV a lot because she did a lot of NBA stuff. Shaughnessy would be on. Dan Shaughnessy. Rick Riley.
Sports Reporters. Starring Gary Thorne. Dick Schaap Gary Thorne did it for 1 year. Dick Schaap went from 88 to 2001. Then it was John Saunders. Mike Lupica hosted it for a year. And then, so what kind of panelists do we have here? There's a relaunch. The show relaunched on the YouTube channel with Jeremy Schaap, Joe Buck, Mike Tirico, Ian Eagle, and Kevin Harlan. Wow.
So it's all TV guys.
Yeah. The host and panelists. Just give me like John Feinstein, Mitch Albom, Bill Rhoden of the New York Times.
Yeah.
They say Stephen A. Smith was on. I don't know. That's definitely would be mad new. Jason Whitlock. I remember him.
I mean, Stephen A. was a writer for the Philly Inquirer or the Daily News. I can't remember which.
I don't remember him though. Bill Conlon, that was the other name I remember. Bill Conlon was like this big.
Yeah, from Philly.
But yeah, that show was that's my number one. When you came up with this list, I'm like, all right, I have to come up with 4 more now. And I think my favorite part of it was the very end of the show when they did their last takes or their final whatever they called it. Parting shots, yeah. Because a lot of them were just well written and they were funny.
Yeah.
Like, the other stuff was kind of like, okay, I'll listen to that. Oh, you're going to talk about women's tennis? Okay, whatever. Oh, it's golf time. Oh, it's the PGA Tour is they have a major this weekend. How much golf did we talk about?
It's the same way that I loved watching Siskel and Ebert. It felt like these reporters who were bringing like a cultured take to something that's not always seen as cultured. Like, oh, going to the movies. Oh, going to a baseball game. You know?
Who are your other 2?
My other 2, and I'll give them both at once because I couldn't decide which one to have as number 1. The one that inspired the list was Inside the NBA with.
That's what I figured. I don't watch it enough that didn't make my list.
And then classic '90s Sports Center with like Olbermann and Patrick, Kenny Mayne, Stuart Scott.
I didn't know if SportsCenter counted as like a studio show. I mean, sure, that's more of a news program to me. But yeah, what SportsCenter's become is like almost criminal.
Yeah,
based on what it came from.
I still watch SportsCenter, and it really is just like it's all shtick. It's no sports. It's like the anchor's just telling like C-rate jokes.
It also goes to show that content is more important than environment because ESPN studios have billion-dollar sets with monitors and cameras that come out from. And listen, I don't care that you're like a former athlete in a nice suit, wearing a white pair of sneakers because you're cool. You know, talk about sports intelligently and just talk about sports. Don't give me like the gambling lines and what DraftKings thinks and that's. But yeah, the big show with Olbermann and Patrick, yeah, that was good times, man.
Yeah,
good time. That's just we're old man yelling at cloud. So, Mr. Smarty Pants time. So I'm going to tell you right now. The questions are when I was putting the show together, I thought I don't. This is always the part I struggle with the most, unless I find something online, like when I'm scrolling. I didn't find any cool things today, so I went to the interwebs and I said, "Give me hard trivia questions." So these are from BuzzFeed, and I know you like Jeopardy, so it's kind of fair for you.
Yeah.
I have not vetted any of them,
Okay.
so there's two trivia questions. One that's not even a trivia question. I just think it's funny the way they worded it. So number one, what is the longest running Broadway show in history?
Boy. Cats ran a long time. Starlight Express ran a long time. Chorus Line ran a long time. I'll say Cats.
None ran as long as Phantom of the Opera.
Oh wow.
Number two, this I thought this might appease to the jargon technology part of your brain. What is the meaning of the word defenestrate?
Defenestrate.
Defenestrate.
Yeah, and I know I've heard the word, but I don't know if I could define it.
When have you heard this word?
It's not a word where I was like, "What the hell's that?" Like it's definitely something I've heard.
Take a guess. What do you think it means?
Defenestrate. Like
I would not want you to defenestrate me from the top floor of a building.
Oh, okay. So is it to yeet?
I don't know what yeet means, but probably
To throw, to toss something?
to throw someone, not something, to throw someone out a window.
Oh, okay. Maybe I haven't heard it before because I would
That's what I thought.
definitely
Like,
remember that.
I don't know where you would have heard that in context. And then finally, the one that this should not be trivia for you. How many teeth do most humans have?
32.
I like the way they worded it, though. Most humans,
True.
because
Go to certain pockets of the coal region.
yeah, there you go. So those are the questions I came up with. That was, you know what, they were tougher than, you learn a little defenestration here on Super Meatballs.
I have some trivia for you.
Oh, well then let's update the graphic here. And
So I was trying to think of something, a theme for the trivia this week. Tuesday is the 19th. And that would be, it would have been my dad's 80th birthday, May 19th.
Oh, no kidding.
46. But my dad has a twin brother, my Uncle Joe. So the theme of these two trivia
Asking
questions.
you about your Uncle Joe, I don't know anything about him. I'm not sure I've ever met him.
Well, I guess we're going to throw these out.
What's Joe's favorite color?
No, the theme here is these are questions about the Minnesota Twins.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, I got it.
Right? One is a question, one is a list.
Okay, I have a list for you as well, but rock on.
So the question is, David Wells, of course, threw a perfect game in 1998 against the Minnesota Twins. Who was the Twins starter in that game?
Johan Santana.
That's not a bad guess, but
that's the only Twins pitcher I know from that era.
It is LaTroy Hawkins.
LaTroy Hawkins, the would-be closer then. No kidding.
Yeah.
I remember. I know Javier Vasquez pitched against David Cone. I did not know that David Wells opposing starter. LaTroy Hawkins. No kidding.
Yeah. And then the list. There are 8 players in Twins history who have 200 or more career home runs as a Minnesota Twin. So not counting what they did with anyone else.
Oh my gosh.
How many of the 8 do you think you can get?
So the one I'm this is where I'm stuck right now, because there's always that one guy who, like, is on a home run list and he's so underappreciated. I can't think of his darn name right now. Like, there's 8. How many home runs are we looking for?
200 or more as a Twin.
Oh my gosh. Like, I'm blanking on Joe Mauer.
Joe Mauer is incorrect, actually.
What? He doesn't have 200 home runs?
He does not.
That's amazing. Oh, feel so bad. Oh, then like the number one guy is like he's probably got like 500 or so,
Yeah,
and
there's one guy who has 559 as a
and
Twin.
I'm just blanking on his name. Oh my gosh.
Would you like me to give you him?
Yeah, because
That would be Harmon Killebrew.
Armin Killebrew. Oh, son of a biscuit. No, it's always the name. Like he's one of the more underrated players, and yeah,
I like to think of him as the Jim Thome of his generation.
that's oh, dude. Oh my gosh. I for some reason I couldn't get the name Frank Howard out of my head. I don't know. I don't know why.
So of the 7 left, you know at least 6 of these guys.
Oh, I'm sure I do, but they're not coming out. they're. Oh my gosh.
Three of them were on the 91 Twins that beat the Braves in the World Series.
Kirby Puckett.
Kirby Puckett has 207.
Of course, Kirby Puckett has 200 home runs, but Joe Mauer doesn't. He wasn't a home run hitter. He wouldn't have been my first guess. Harmon Killebrew. I'm ticked off of myself. Added him with the Twins too. So like, Dave Winfield, does he count?
He didn't hit 200 with he played with the Twins, but he didn't.
Yeah. So, I sit here and for another 20 minutes. I break the list out for me, man. That's why I'm Mr. Noodlehead.
All right, with 293, Kent Herbeck.
Okay, that's a name I remember.
The one that I wouldn't have gotten, you wouldn't have gotten, is Bob Allison with 256. Then not Joe Mauer, but Justin Morneau had 221.
Okay, that's a name. You know him.
Going back a little bit, Tony Oliva had 220. Torrey Hunter had 214.
Really? All right, so like as I was going through the Twins, I know Torrey Hunter came up. I don't know. I had no idea he would have had that many home runs.
These are the Twins I know these. And then Gary Gaetti with 201.
Yep, that's a name I knew. I don't know if I would have pulled him out, but no, that's a tough list. That is a tough list.
I was trying to think of something accessible for the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah. So I've got 2 basketball-related lists for you. One is a list, and one is a put them in order. So we'll do something different here. So the list question: James Harden needs 290 points to break into the all-time top 10 in NBA playoff scoring history. If he gets that tonight, the Cavs are going to win. I guarantee it. The question for you: who are the 10 players ahead of James Harden on the all-time NBA playoff scoring list?
Okay, Kareem and LeBron.
Kareem and LeBron. You have the number 3 and the number 2. Or, the number 3 and the number 1.
Jordan.
Jordan is number 2. There you go. Look at
that. Karl Malone.
Karl Malone is number 8.
So, even though it was before there were more rounds, I'll say Jerry West.
Jerry West is number 10. He is 290 points ahead of James Harden.
Okay, so I have Kareem, LeBron, Jordan, Malone, and West.
That's a pretty good starting 5.
Shaq.
Number 5.
Kobe.
Number 4.
So I need 3 more?
You need number 9, number 7, and number 6. Notice Duncan? I didn't do 6, 7, 9. Duncan is number 6.
Wilt?
Not on the list. Wilt would have been... where are you, Wilt? 22.
Wow. So I think Harden just passed Curry. So I don't think it's Curry. I think Curry's now 12.
You're correct. Harden just passed Curry.
Bird's career was so short, but I'll guess Bird.
He came in 15th.
Magic's career was also relatively short. I'll say Magic, though.
18th.
Elijah
Olajuwon is 17th. You're in the neighborhood.
Dirk.
He was down in that range too, 19.
What about Elgin Baylor?
21. You're above the fold. You're just not in the top 10. You need 7 and 9. I think okay. This one is probably, yeah, that's where that's coming from. They are combining NBA and ABA on the list I used.
Oh, okay. So Dr. J.
Dr. J is number 9 on the list. So the number 7 is not ABA related.
Okay. Give me a hint on 9.
On 9, his nickname was Dr. J.
Oh, I'm sorry. Give me a hint on 7, rather.
Number 7. Had he played in the first round, the Lakers might not have won.
If he'd play, Durant.
Kevin Durant comes in at number 7. Yeah. So that was excellent work. I thought that would be very easy for you. So I decided I was going to come up with a new game that was going to be a little harder. So you might want to write these down if you have access to a pen or something, or if you can just remember them. I'm going to give you 5 players. I want you to rank them by how many playoff points they have, and whatever goal you want to go from high to low or low to high, you just tell me.
Okay.
All right? So are you ready? There's 5 names coming at you. Yes. I'm going to give them to you alphabetically.
Okay.
Number 1 is the dollar, Bill Bradley.
Okay.
Number 2 is another dollar, Bill Cartwright.
Okay.
Number 3 is a little less than a dollar. It's a penny, Anthony Hardaway.
Okay.
And I'm done with the money now. Next up is Kyle Korver. And finally, Dennis Rodman.
Okay.
So in whatever order you want, the most playoff points or the fewest playoff points, how would you order them?
Okay. I'm not sure how I feel about this, but I'm going to go lowest to highest.
Lowest to highest. Okay, that's good. That's the order I wrote it down.
I'm going to say Rodman's lowest. Then I'll go Bradley. Then I'll go Penny. Then Cartwright. Then Korver.
Okay. So let me see. You went Rodman, Bradley, Hardaway, Cartwright, and Korver.
Yes.
You are correct on Dennis Rodman. He has the fewest playoff points with 1,081.
Okay.
Bill Cartwright actually comes in number 2 with 1,100.
Okay.
Kyle Korver is number 3, 1,156. Bill Bradley, number 4 on the second on this list, 1,222. And Anthony Hardaway of all of these players has the most with 1,304. Anthony Hardaway ranks 191 all time.
I don't know that I would have thought Penny. I thought his window was too short.
But a lot of these guys, we go 191 to 243. As I was looking at the list, like the top 10 list, I'm like, oh, Bird's 15. And I started scrolling down. I'm like, what if I asked him how many playoff points Dave DeBuscher has? I wonder if he'll know that. Or I wonder if he's even ever heard of Bob Netalicki. Because, why would you have heard of Bob Netalicki? The 4-time All-Star. Yeah, but no. So that's where those kind of names came from. They're down in the 200 range.
All right. That was an interesting one. I like that one.
All right. Do you have a keep five, cut five thing?
I do.
Oh, excellent. I mean, what do I get a
There is a theme.
category? Cool.
So last night was the season finale of Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
The host was Will Ferrell, who is one of 15 people all time to have hosted 6 or more times.
Oh wow.
So this is a list of 10 people who have hosted at least 6 times.
I'm glad this is a keep five, cut five, and not a list, because I'd be like, I think you did this once like before, and I got like 2 of them. So
Yes, this is a
let's
keep
start.
5, cut 5.
Let's start dead in the middle. We'll go number 5.
Number 5 is Alec Baldwin,
Alec Baldwin.
the all-time leader with 17 times hosting.
Wow. Um, he has a lot of iconic things that he's done. I don't know who's doing the Trump now, but he was the Trump guy before, right?
He was.
I will keep Alec Baldwin, because you can't cut a Baldwin and survive. So
All right, we're going to keep Alec Baldwin.
I eat my donut too. Let's go number 3.
Number 3 is the second most hosting appearances all time, Steve Martin with 16.
Oh, how do you not keep Steve Martin, man? Like, I don't know if he was hosting when he did this or not, but the King Tut music video is the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever seen. But he was also, like, when they were welcoming somebody into the Five Timers Club, he's a cool guy.
He is a cool guy.
Which means, like, in real life, he's probably a jerk. But if I'm hosting a show, I will keep Steve Martin as well.
All right, that's 2 keeps.
All right, number 7.
Number 7 has hosted 7 times. It is Scarlett Johansson.
She's married to the guy, so like my interest in her would be purely like visual. I'm sure she's a fine actress, but I will cut Scarlett Johansson.
Max is cutting Scarlett Johansson.
Don't let the guys know that I cut the hot chick.
All right, Scarlett Johansson has been cut.
Let's go with number 10.
Number 10 has hosted 7 times. It is the very unique Christopher Walken.
Oh, keep.
The Continental himself.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Enjoy a glass of champagne. You've been kept.
Been like number 1 draft pick. I'm glad I kept him. Whew. Let's see what the kid feels about the old number 1.
Number 1 has hosted 6 times and has come back to do assorted impressions. It is Melissa McCarthy.
Was she Spicer?
She was.
Oh,
and she had the podium, like the motorized podium.
Oh, come on now! Like, if I keep her, I can only keep 1 more.
That's right.
But I'm going to keep her just because of Spicy.
Right.
Oh, and I don't know if I'm thinking of this one. I don't know if. Okay, all right, that's fine.
Keeping that Spicy McCarthy.
Number 2.
Number 2 has hosted 6 times, but not in a while. It's Danny DeVito.
I like Danny DeVito. He's probably a guy that, doesn't take himself too seriously as a celebrity. He seems like a nice guy, but we're going to cut him.
Sorry, Danny DeVito.
I'm going to feel bad about doing it. I'm going to feel bad about doing it.
All right.
Number 8.
Number 8 has hosted 6 times. Rumored to be the possible successor whenever Lorne Michaels wants to step down is Tina Fey.
Wow. Tina Fey did a Sarah Palin so good that I think she could have done a campaign ad and fooled 75% of America, maybe more.
I would agree with this.
Um, really good on Weekend Update when she was a regular, and an amazing writer. With that though, I can keep one more, and I will cut Tina Fey. Very sadly, I would probably keep her over uh, McCarthy and Baldwin, but they got in first.
And that is why Keep Five, Cut Five is the cruelest of games.
It is. It is. Let's go number 6.
Number 6, one of my favorite stand-up comedians, former writer at SNL, John Mulaney.
Oh, really good stand-up comic.
Yeah.
What did he do that in his stand-up? What was one of the things that I would have seen like on the Tickety Talk or the Grams of the world?
I don't know. He's got 3 or 4 stand-up specials on Netflix. They're all amazing.
Good stuff. I'm going to cut John Mulaney though.
Oh, John Mulaney.
We hardly knew you.
All right, so we've now cut 4, kept 4, so one of each left.
101. So let's go with number 9.
Number 9 has hosted 13 times. Also, fun fact, during the blizzard of 93, when I walked down Broad Street to get to your house for a sleepover that Saturday night, he was the host. March of 93. It's John Goodman.
John Goodman. Oh, my goodness.
Auditioned to be a cast member in the 80s, did not make it.
How many times did he host, really? 9?
13 times.
He was number 9. Wow.
And then also came back to do, he was Linda Tripp during the Monica Lewinsky scandal.
I think really solely because he was Walter Sobchak. I will keep John Goodman.
John Goodman gets kept.
That and the fact that I cheated a little bit. I wanted to look up how many times this other person hosted, so I wasn't worried about missing number 4. Who's getting cut on number 4?
Number 4 is the very cuttable Chevy Chase.
Okay, I got you. That's fair. Now, I was holding out when you said Melissa McCarthy. For some reason, geographically in my brain, she was like right next to Kate McKinnon, and
oh sure,
Kate McKinnon is one of the funniest human beings I think I've ever seen. But she would not have made the list. She only hosted one time.
So of the people who've hosted in double digits, Baldwin with 17, Steve Martin with 16, John Goodman 13, Tom Hanks with 10, and Buck Henry with 10.
Buck Henry.
He was a big host in the early days in the 70s.
Okay. Who is Buck Henry?
Wrote The Graduate.
That guy. Okay.
Yeah. Played Tina Fey's dad on 30 Rock.
He didn't Get Smart. Okay. There we go. Good deal. I got to start bench cut for you.
All right.
It is that time of year. It is graduation party season. I'm actually going to a graduation party in a couple hours. So I wanted you to start, bench, or cut the side dishes that one might encounter at a graduation party.
Okay.
So you've got to start, bench, or cut pasta salad, cheesy patio potatoes, or the ever basic chips and dip.
I'm cutting chips and dip. I'm starting pasta salad and benching potatoes.
Wow, that's
surprise choice.
It is. I mean, I would start patio potatoes all day. Oh, those are amazing. And depending on the chips, I don't get dip all that often. So like getting a potato chip with like the sour cream gooey stuff is like that's a small treat for me. I think I think I would have benched the chips and dip, but pasta salad I can make pasta salad whenever I want.
Pasta salad is delightful anytime you're at a cookout. It's very hard to do pasta salad badly.
So if you're going to start bench and cut the mains, we have pulled pork, we have the basic cheeseburger, or a specialty cheese dog. Finish my hot dog.
I'm going to start the burger. I'm cutting the dog. I'm benching the pulled pork.
In terms of gifts, start, bench, or cut gift card, check, or um, a keepsake memorabilia thing from the student's graduating school. I didn't write that. I just made that up in my head.
Yeah, I'm cutting the memorabilia. I'm starting the check, and I'm benching the gift card. Gift card's a little presumptuous. You're going to tell me I have to shop at Amazon? Sorry, Aunt Mary.
my dad sent me a check for my birthday. I think it was the first check I've received in a while. I wonder if today's kid, you're graduating from college today, if I give the kid a check, if he'd know what to do with it. If you didn't ask his mom.
I still write the occasional check. Very infrequently, but I still write the occasional check.
Go down to the grocery store to pick up some half and half.
Yeah, some what have yous.
69 cents worth of, while the Gulf War is going on.
Well, discretion won't stand.
Oh, good times, man. Oh boy, where are we at here? 240. It's average. I thought we had a good show, man. A lot of good stuff going on.
I think so too.
What do you got going on the rest of the day?
I don't know. I got a lot done yesterday. Actually, you saw earlier. Got a little bit of a haircut.
You look, as I said, very very kempt.
Yeah, I'll have to shave the face, but that won't take the whole day.
It should take you 2 minutes, man.
Yeah. We'll see where the day takes me. Maybe I'll research some He-Man villains. I don't know. You've got some pasta salad and some cheesy hot dogs.
Sounds like a Sunday. So I got that party, and I plan out the last couple weeks of school. Tomorrow is day 8. So I have to decide whether I'm going with Yogi Berra or Chris Howard. I don't know.
See, I thought it would be a no-brainer that you'd go with Yogi.
I like to go. I like to go football because that generates discussion more. I don't think the people on the list will go. Plus, I mean, you could do a Yankee. I could Yankee out. So
sure, because then you got Mickey Mantle the next day.
Mickey Mantle said he's tied with Donovan Edwards right now. Because I'll say something about Edwards is still running in Columbus. How many Yankees do I go with? I went with Rick Cerone for 10. So 6 is Wheatley. Joe DiMaggio's 5. Lou Gehrig's usually 4. Then I break
away. You could always go Weber for 4.
I could. I usually break away from New York. Then for 3, I go with Jerry McNamara. And then 2's the day I'm going to get in trouble because you're only usually allowed to pick one. But I'm going to tell I don't even care about your rules because between Jeter and Woodson and Blake Corum, I'm not picking one, so I'm just giving them all 3.
What do you do for day 1? What's that? Casey Stengel?
No, one is Casey Stengel was 37.
Oh no, one is one.
Bobby Mercer.
Was one Rizzuto?
No, Rizzuto was
11.
No. What the heck was Rizzuto? Shoot. 10. Because Rick Cerone was the last player to wear 10 before it got retired for Rizzuto.
Okay.
No, one is Billy Martin.
That's right.
But I would probably go with Bobby Mercer, or I might go with like a Braylon Edwards, or that. I think I've written down to take Derek Alexander. So I'll go with him. And then I like the fact that the last day of school is always 0 so that I could write something about Mikey Sainer still.
There you go.
But you get your Orlando Woolridges and your Robert Parishes. But it's a fun – you get like 5 minutes between classes and some of the arguments that people have – I'll tell you this. A couple years ago, there was a teacher who made an absolute just mind blowing, oh my God statement. We could almost have a segment on it here. It was day 3, and he said the most famous athlete ever, more famous than Michael Jordan, Dale Earnhardt. And I thought, I mean, maybe in Franklin County, Dale's that big, but Michael Jordan is a global brand. They know he saved the Earth from the Monstars in outer space.
Yeah.
Dale is.
I mean, and look, I'm not a NASCAR guy, but not looking down at Dale Earnhardt, but yeah, like people around the globe know Michael Jordan 23.
So that was a whole discussion, and it wasn't clickbait rage bait. I really think he truly believed it, and I'm like, that boggled my mind. I think you could have an argument about who's more popular globally, Dale Earnhardt versus a Michael Irvin, or I'm trying to think of like a low rent basketball player like Clyde Drexler.
See, the problem there is Earnhardt's been dead now for 25 years.
True. Well, he made this statement came out, I think it was pre-COVID. I think he said it something like in 2018. It's been a while. I just remember this. It's stuck in my head for so long that a human could truly believe this. I couldn't think of the Dale Earnhardt adjacent, like an athlete that passed away that maybe we hadn't thought about for a while. But still, like, to say that about Michael Jordan is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of stuff you get in this email thread at the beginning of the day. It's refreshing before you start work.
Look,
but I got yelled at about JJ McCarthy, so like at least
we all love to be agitated before the workday begins.
Agitated or educated. There's one of the new people on the list is really big into NASCAR, and she pulls out a new driver every day. And the thing is, Coach Saunders, the guy who really started this list, he's from North Carolina, and he told me who owned Earnhardt's car back in the day. Do you know the name?
I can't remember now.
Owner Earnhardt car 80s. I'd know the name if I heard it.
Was it Hendrick Motorsports?
Hendrick Motorsports, yeah, I knew I heard. So he said like the headquarters was like right down the road from where he grew up. So like Coach Saunders, who's head football coach when I started coaching, that taught me a lot about football, the X's and O's behind the scenes and how to coach. Absolute great human being. Had a lot more experience in NASCAR than your average football coach would have had because of where he grew up.
Yeah,
so he appreciates the NASCAR additions to the list. And we got another guy who's the German teacher who pulls out soccer players. We got a couple basketball coaches who give us basketball players. It's a fun list to be on.
You can keep your Michael Jordan. I'll take my Sebastian Schweinsteiger.
I go with Mattingly on day 23. I leave. We have a couple who they don't participate every day because I mean sometimes pulling out a number is hard. Like day 47, like I don't know anybody in 47. So
Mel Blount.
There you go. It gets like in the upper teens. Sometimes it's hard. 17, 18, 19. 18 and 19, I got like Matsuzaka and Hiroki Kuroda.
Johnny Unitas.
I forget who I went with 17. I write them out ahead of time so I know. But it's the fun things that keep you going, man. Well, speaking of going, it's about that time. It's almost time.
It is about that time. This episode's been brought to you by Tim and Max's Bladders.
And speaking of bladder, the Watertown School Board of Wisconsin, and that's the only other water thing. I haven't hit the end button.